long-acting viral strain that infects the host immediately, and upon getting sick, the infected will become racked with coughs, sweat profusely, and start to get the shivers and chills.
There he is, the legend. The man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah. You can't literally run a promotion just for the AEW, what do they call them, sickos?
Thank you very much, TikTok and AEW. See you tonight.
Tony Khan started telling people there's no such thing as long-term booking anymore. It's week to week.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
We just secured the bag.
It's not like I tried to be a character. It was just sort of happened naturally. But it was never something I intended. It was just something that happened because the wrestlers asked me to do things in matches, and I do them.
If you run a promotion just for the sickos, you're going to do 400,000 viewers eventually.
Effing Meltzer. You know that Smackdown actually went over and everything?
Yeah.
You know,
What's the point?
the point of Smackdown.
What are you getting at here?
That the DVRs didn't pick it up.
Did they not pick it up?
Mine didn't.
Let's get into everybody's favorite moment, and it is called Dave Meltzer's Dumb Moment of the Week.
What would you like to listen to in your ears?
I'd like to hear the flute.
Well, if you'd like to flaunt your flute, then we can find you a flautist.
We just secured the bag.
It doesn't help me.
Okay, so complain, but
I will complain.
Let me have my misery!
And when I heard that, I was like, what?
Thank you, fuck you, bye. Boom.
You gotta run a promotion for everybody. The sickos can be the ones that buy tickets first and spend the most money on the merchandise.
Because we just secured the bag.
But like, you gotta promote for everybody. Then you'll have a lot of viewers.
I think we proved a lot of so-called experts. We made them look like idiots. We're not going anywhere. Tony Khan's not going anywhere.
You'll also be there on TNT. You'll be in 2 places at once. It'll be a lot like my favorite movie. Smackdown. So great, Pittsburgh.
It's not like I tried to be a character. It sort of happened naturally.
the best guys, Tony Khan.
To keep themselves safe.
もっと暖かくなるエアコンに変えてください。
細長だから快適ゾーン4倍。
What's your next desire?
すぐ暖かくなるエアコンがいい。
細長だからファジー速暖静かでパワフル日立の
Big Flow.
暮らし刺激人
日立。
Jeff, why do you insist on doing this dumb internet shit on TV?
I look and see it's not just me.
This place is a fucking joke, man. You're a clown. I quit.
So many of us have stood where we stand. We are young, so raise your hand. So many of
others that stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild.
No. It doesn't make logical sense, but it makes.
Well, yes, of course.
But it makes wrestling booking sense. Of course, this makes no sense. Of course, okay, it makes no sense. However, in pro wrestling booking, which often makes no sense, you would do that. It's about making money. It's not about anything else. Wrestling's always been about making money first and foremost. That's it.
Yes! I look and see it's not just me.
Last weekend was the greatest weekend in AEW history. This is the greatest week.
I look and see it's not just me.
Security, my safety, my life was in danger at a wrestling show.
So many others have stood where I stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. So many others have stood where I stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand, we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. They call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand, we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. Wild. Yeah!
If you're familiar with how we do things often here on these Wednesdays, it's a lot like one of my favorite movies, Time Cop.
What? Fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah!
Ooh, what's happening, guys? Welcome to another eclectic edition of PWT Live Show. I am your host, the infallible Phil Marks, and can I get a yeah? It's a savage Saturday night. It's a savage Saturday night, chat. We're gonna get into it. It's a sicko Saturday night. We have the Sicko Wars going down right in front of us. We're on X as well. You guys know what I'm saying? Which is uniquely different. We're on like 2 hours earlier than I typically go on a Saturday because I want to go touch some grass. Okay. I get some shit I want to do. I'm watching UFC London here. And yeah, we got Kevin Holland, Gunnar Nelson throwing down. And before we dive into Phil Marks, we're going. Sorry, guys, I'm lit. We're drinking beer. Yeah, we started early. Can I get a yeah? So we're going for the damn thing. Yes, flutes in the chat. We got Dusty Dave. We have every category. Every category. I've been watching Piers Morgan Uncensored. I watched Hornswoggle on there shitting on Snow White. That was funny. But yeah, we're doing the damn thing. I hope you're all doing good. This is not a typical intro. What do I got to plug? Let me plug yous, okay? YouTube.com/@prowrestletimes, the secondary channel where we're also live right now. We're at like 1,820 subs or something like that. This channel is at 6,220 or 11 or some shit. We're crushing it. Round of applause to the PWT universe. You all are goated and are why the show goes down. You know what I mean? So round of applause for you all. So that's awesome. And then, yeah, head over to my other channel. It's called Phil Marks Out. Here, I'll share it here. If you guys are into pop culture and you like to hear me talk about wrestling and you want to see my video edits and scripted content, you head on over to this channel here. Hit subscribe. I also have I react to pop culture stuff. Movie stuff, MCU stuff. I'm doing a roundtable with Husey where we're going to talk about M. Night Shyamalan. Okay. What else? That's it. Patreon, check that out. Yeah, and just subscribe, hit like. I hate to ask, we got to get to 100 likes though on the Clips channel, right? That's how this site works. Fucking complainers in the chat. And yeah, let's go. I hope you guys are doing well. We're gonna dive into some news. Let me check in the chat really quick as we do, and then we'll get into our first set of bookmarks there, our first folders. Gilgamesh has been a member for 12. Goddamn, Mike. Could he get a yeah. Gifted a membership. Yeah, so consider becoming a member. It's only 99 cents. Super chats are welcome too. And I just read them kind of as I go along, or, when I'm done ranting or whatever. So if you're new to the show. And yeah, this is cool being on earlier too. Sometimes I know my East Coast players are like 2 hours later than me right now. So it's like 6 p.m. where you're at. So I was like, maybe if I start a little earlier, they'll like that as well. I don't know. Yushin FX, thank you so much for your membership and posting those emojis there. Miss October 30 says, I feel bad for rant I gave in my email, but that is how I feel. I got to check my email. If you sent me an email, Miss October 30, I appreciate it. And shout out also Julia Gulia, hard at work, sending me sounds like every day. And yeah, I just appreciate you guys. Let's acknowledge the PWT universe one more time.
Acknowledge me.
Okay, acknowledge thee. Thank you all. And I will read your rant and get back to you, okay? George Capture, of course, top mod of the top pod is in the building. That's amazing. Everyone else is here. It's good to see you guys. Let's dive into some shit, okay? Let's dive into some stuff, okay? Where are we going to start? We're actually not going to start. Julia sent me something good too, and it was like, I got some news for you or whatever, but I fucking didn't add it to the thing. Like an idiot. But we're not going to start in miscellaneous. We're actually going to go to some MMA style news. Mike Kennedy, though, for what is this? LBS or what? Euros? I don't fucking know. Tony Khan wanks on all fours, okay? Hey, man, some people like doing it that way. I don't know. Not me, you freak. I didn't even know about that till you just said it, but thank you. Ezra Gobert has become a new member. I swear to God, like every show, Ezra becomes a new member. So do you like cancel it, then re-sign up? And well, I don't know how that works, but thank you, dude. And you've been rocking with us forever, too. Yeah, thank you, guys. You are acknowledged as well. You're lumped into that acknowledgement. Okay, let's get into the damn thing. We're going to share this tab here with UFCs because the UFC will reportedly do everything in their power to get a Netflix deal. I think I read this before. Once their contract with ESPN expires at the end of the year, UFC is allegedly having issues with ESPN's technology. Well, ESPN isn't happy with pay-per-view numbers being way down. I've always said it, Dana White will just kind of say shit and trash people on his way out. He's kind of done it. He did it with like EA Sports, and then he ends up making a game with them. So it is what it is. So that aside, don't pay that any mind, but told ya. Right, guys? Phil don't miss. I told you guys, UFC, everything TKO is going to go Netflix, Negflix. And it's just where it's headed. And Netflix also said, which I may have bookmarked in WWE news, but I'll just speak it now and reiterate it later, I suppose. They're planning on spending $18 billion next year on content, or this year, whatever the fuck. UFC's TV deal's up at the end of this year. Just pay attention to these little nuggets that I'm dropping. I don't know if anyone else is dropping these, but I'm telling you guys, you add these little puzzle pieces up, and yeah, they're going to spend a fuckload of money for UFC. The pay-per-view model is pretty much donezo. Dave Meltzer said as such, and we're going to see what he had to say later on, the tail end here. But yeah, dude, it's all going to Netflix, and we're going to see tons of crossovers, like way more. Speaking of crossover, Tom Pestock, Bishop Dyer, Baron Corbin. How's my black eye now? Gold at Pans. So again, a purple belt the 2025 pants. He keeps winning medals, right? And he's doing significantly well at jiu-jitsu, especially as a fucking purple belt. So I guess he's entering these tournaments, and this is, I think, his second gold medal rather. So that's awesome. So let's move along over here to miscellaneous news, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So Gabe Kidd, bruv. So he's going to be at Bloodsport 13 along with Pete Dunne, Natty Neidhart. Who else is announced for this thing? Others that I'm forgetting that we've covered on the show that I apologize that I'm now forgetting. But Gabe Kidd, bruv, is another one. I don't even think he really sounds like that, but that's awesome. This is so well suited for him and his style. The other thing I wanted to plug, if you guys haven't, Big Trouble Ben Bishop, I had him on the show. Let me know what you guys thought of that interview. We had such a good fucking time. That's my favorite, one of my favorite PWT moments. So PWT podcast episode 90, exclusively on the other channel. You can get it in clip form like tomorrow or the next day, probably, if you want to wait it out. But make sure you guys check that out as well. And he just battled with Nick Nemeth, So that's good shit. Anyways, moving along. Let me see. Ahead of his retirement match tonight, so Homicide, the longtime legend. He got some medical update. Legend of like the indie scene, He got some medical update, I guess, and I don't think I don't want to misspeak as well. Yeah, his speech and his vision are bad, so he has to retire from pro wrestling. Unfortunately, that's the risk you take, when you get into this. So he says, can't believe I'm saying goodbye. Not only a job, the passion, the sport of pro wrestling, myself and Bull James versus Mike Santana, and I hate everyone. Alpha Jr. Reason I'm leaving because I went to my doctor and found cyst in my brain. Had it for months, getting worse. My vision, speech is bad because the hard hitting, getting knocked out and hitting a plane to travel. Oh, man. Oh, it's so sad, dude. March 20, Outlaw Wrestling means a lot. I want people to party and smile. Except for Alpha Jr. I'm a survivor. I always win bullshit battles. Bottom of my heart. Thank you for your support. This is not a goodbye. This I see you later. Latin Terror, Homicide, 187 Sweatbox. One. Yeah, dude. Fucking shout out Homicide, man. And I don't know when his last match is. It may have already taken place. March 20th. Yeah, so 2 days ago. Our best wishes his way in that. Round of applause. He's a fight. Okay. Moving along here. So, Jonathan Gresham is going to be at Bloodsport as well, dude. So just a stacked fucking card. You guys got to check this out. And Gresham, this is where he's going to thrive. I fucking love Jonathan Gresham. I'm one of the people who stands and pushes for this guy, I think, the hardest, as far as like he should be somewhere prominent. People are like, his size don't matter because he's, when you like his frame, he's stocky and he can do all the shit. Like he can really wrestle. Like he can actually stretch dudes is the thing. No Diddy, right? But he can actually stretch motherfuckers and he can do all the shit. Like if you want to flip around, he can do that. If you want to wrestle technically, you want to do the character stuff he showed with the octopus. It just never really got the push it should have. And I get it. There's so many gimmicks where people are like spitting ink and, losing their minds and going crazy and emo and shit. But Gresham's that dude. He's really that dude. I think we have a video of him later. It might be in here. Karrion Kross as well. That's another one. Bloodsport 13, Karrion Kross. I mean, come on, dude. So, like, just think of the names. Natty, Karrion, Pete Dunne, Jonathan Gresham. Who did we go over before as well? I don't know if Josh is on this one. Josh Alexander. Just stacked. Ridiculously stacked. You want to watch this show. And this is what I mean, man. Some of these guys get these matches in Vegas around Mania. And It's a way to keep them happy. I don't fucking know. Husey doesn't think so, but I don't. I like to say that it might keep some people happy. I don't know. Eric Bischoff announces he's officially done in the wrestling business after 38 years. So I wonder, does this mean no more like MLW one-shots or whatever? And he says, I realize now that there's nothing I could do in professional wrestling, and that's ever going to bring me fulfillment. I'm dyslexic, and it's just not because I've done it, and I'm proud of what I've done. I just don't have that desire to focus on that business any longer for Vince or anybody else. I'm just not that interested to commit that much to that industry. What was he asked? This just seems like a random quote. When him and Conrad get jabbering when he's chatting Conrad up. And he's like, oh, come on now, Eric. That's not very fair to just gibber and jabber when I asked you a simple question. No. As much as I respect it and I'm grateful for it, that period of my life is in the rearview mirror, and I enjoy every time I look in the rearview mirror and see it. So is 83 weeks done? Is he quitting his pods? Is he not talking about wrestling anymore? Is he not doing retrospectives? Is he not tweeting about current AEW product or Dave Meltzer? Is he not going to do MLW shit? These are the questions we don't have fucking answers.
You fucking mark!
Right? I'm marking out over here like we need answers. That being said, yeah, some people are clowning him. They're like, oh, AEW is about to surpass Nitro. And it just proves the point that I say on this show that no one else says. Everyone says it after, when it's like, okay, now it's so obvious. I'm always the first. Okay, listen to me. They're battling with dead companies, bro. Tony's in the Vern Gagne and all these fucking guys. You know, I have more money than them. Ted Turner. He's talking about all these past shits. He can't get the past stuff out of his head. I just can't get you out of my head. But listen, he is battling it out, and Dave Meltzer stooges that through his rhetoric as well, because you know him and Tony Khan are texting, and they're trying to duke it out with WCW, and it's so dumb, bro. You're trying to compete with shit that's dead. People are like, it's ECW. ECW died. So let's be very clear about this. Okay. They need to focus on themselves and the future and the now and what's relevant. I think I'm going to give AEW credit. I think they're doing a little more of that. Okay. I think they are a little too much, right? Maybe locked in a little too much, where sometimes it's like, whoa, you guys just dropped Rizzler plushes and then Moxley impaled himself. So what is our objective here? You know, that sort of thing. But yeah, I love 83 weeks. I hope it doesn't go anywhere. And if we're going to use the metric, and we're going to talk about that a little later with Dave Meltzer, but if we're going to start talking about, it outlasted Nitro and shit, well, then Ring of Honor, CMLL, TNA, Impact has had more episodes than Nitro. So, or at Dynamite. So what are we talking about here? You know, it's just a foolish, dumb. It's like, who gives a shit if that's the case? But they just want to stick it to Bischoff. When it's like, why is your battles with, they're just old, hateful podcasters. They're just grifter podcasters. Okay, then why do you give a fuck to where this is like, well, Dave's like, they'll never beat WWE, but I mean, they're the second best, Bischoff, Dutch Mantel. Like, they're so interested in like sticking it to dudes who've just been there and done that. And Cornette. You know, it's fucking weird, dude. Anyways, so shout out Bischoff. I hope he sticks around in some capacity. Here we go. This is just hilarious shit here from Vince Russo and particularly Al Snow. Some of his infamous one-liner jokes that he's picked up over the years.
You know what, Jessica asked me just a minute ago where I would go. If I could go anywhere on earth, where would I want to go? I said the moon. She just stared at me.
I also saw that you yelled.
Said what?
Where I want to go? I said the moon. She just stared at me.
I also saw that you yelled to her in the other room to bring you some wet wipes.
Yeah, I was in the kitchen the other night. I made a mess, and I was like, "Hey, sweetheart, do we have any wet wipes?" And she was in the living room. She's like, "Come again?" I said, "No, it's barbecue sauce."
Yeah,
That's gross, Al.
Oh, that's gross, Al. My Chris, bro. That's not about wrestling, bro. Oh, that's gross, bro. Really, I'm a good. I don't even know what cum is, bro. In fact, I've never even had barbecue sauce. Tom Reed. Phil Marks officially running Eric Bischoff. Bischoff. Out of business. Oh, man. Al Snow's goated. MLW has to move to a larger venue. So Battle Riot is moving to, let me see this, all tickets purchased for the originally scheduled venue at Commerce Casino will be honored at the new venue. So shout them out, blowing up, bigger and bigger. All wrestling is blowing up right now. So last show, a wrestler passed away in the ring. We talked about that. And this now a student had just dropped, boom, and passed on again. Sammy Callahan says, I'm beyond devastated and emotionally spent. Last night, one of our students collapsed in the ring at an indie show. So this is at a show as well, and passed away unexpectedly. Graham is one of the most genuine and kind-hearted people around. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. RIP. Again, just tragic. And it's incredibly unfortunate. I'm entirely unfamiliar with this gentleman. Of course, he was just learning how to wrestle, working indies. And yeah, prayers to him and his family. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Yeah, and just, twice in a row now, like back-to-back weeks here. It's incredibly sad, man. So we're going to debut Becca's new single here on PWT, not that she asked us to. So here's Ben Bishop taking on Nick Nemeth here, and go and check out my interview with Big Trouble Ben Bishop. Fucking hilarious.
Shouldn't have called the move out, dummy.
Shouldn't have called the move out, dummy. Gotta love that shit. But yeah, getting the rub from Nemeth there, and you notice too, like, even though they're using the phone cameras, like the phone on the fucking selfie stick or whatever, Nemeth's still working the camera and shit. Just a profession. You know what I mean? Like, that's the EXP that Big Trouble's getting, being in the ring with a guy like Nemeth, even at that level. It's so good. What Nemeth is doing is so good for the business, akin to what Cody Rhodes and Cardona did. So debuting here, Becca Forever, her latest music video, ladies and gentlemen, called Dick Holess. Dick Holess. Let's go. Becca in this motherfucker.
Dick Holess. P3CCA. Your mustache is ugly, bro. Your mustache is ugly, bro. You ain't got any hoes. Your mustache is ugly, bro.
What you say about yourself is that you're marketable. What I hear about you is that you get no hoes. All the girls love me, cause I'm Becca with a 3. And I'm silly, and I'm witty, and I'm pretty like a Barbie. You flaunt it like you got it, but I think you're a fraud.
This is also a diss track to this marketable something, I forget his name, wrestler. And we got Nikita Lyons has a diss track as well. So we'll compare them throughout the evening. But our girl B3CCA, BECCA with a 3 because she's cool. That's our fucking girl, man. So I don't know. Nikita's going to come with heat. Becca's dropping heat. Nikita's going to have to come with some heat, dude. Okay? Becca's spitting here. Listen,
rod. You should go back to being the AirPod god. If you're out with a girl, she ain't got any standards. You think you're Magnum PI, but you're really Ned Flanders. I heard you sell coffee, and I think that's really fitting. Your teeth are really yellow, and you smell like you be shitting. You wrestle like it too, stinking up the ring. I know I got you jealous with my hot girl bling, and my hot girl swag, and my hot G-string, and my Gucci bag. I ain't gotta pop tags, cleaning up your blood with my Versace rags. Cause I'm Becca with a 3, all the girls love me. Cause I'm silly and I'm witty and I'm pretty like a Barbie. Period.
Period. Okay, guys, Becca in this bitch. Let's go. Chat, you feeling this or what?
Your mustache is ugly, bro. Your mustache is ugly, bro. You ain't got any hoes. Your mustache is ugly, bro.
What you say about yourself is that you're marketable. What I hear about you is that you get no hoes. All the girls love me, cause I'm Becca with a 3. And I'm silly and I'm witty, pretty like a Barbie.
Take your title.
I'm gonna take your title. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for BCCA with a 3 because she's fucking cool, dude. Let's go. Where's my clap? Here we go. And that was miscellaneous news, ladies and gentlemen. Let's head on over to TNA news here. Speaking of bars, we have man like Darius here rapping his way to the ring, and this guy is a guy that everybody's got their eyes on. TNA, I think we're fortunate enough to scoop him up. And yeah, this guy is a dude who everyone's saying is like the next big thing. Blah, blah, blah.
Yo, TNA Orlando, are you good, yeah?
Yeah, this guy has the look. He has the character, the gear. I don't know. This guy's just got like that it factor, you know, that shit you can't teach. He's just got that stuff. So he's going to go far. You can just tell by this little bar some freak accident or ego that gets out of control, you know?
My name is...
Sorry, not to pause it again, but I've seen so little of Darius, man like Darius. I think I'm saying that right. People corrected me last time. But just the little bits I've seen of him, it's like, yeah, he gets it and he has it.
My name is Man Like Darius.
Yeah, there we go.
And I am the lyrical dragon. And when I say 01, you say 2-1. 01! 01! 01! 01!
Then he gets glommed. Okay, so Chris Bay opens up about his recovery from injury in the video of him standing up from a wheelchair. I believe we have clips of his chat with Giga Chad Van Vliet as well. Encourage you guys to check it out. Insight with Chris Van Vliet. But anyways, he says it took a lot of therapy, a lot of mental will, a lot of days where I wasn't better than the day before, so it sucked. You know, timing, a lot of my walking ability or standing ability, and trying to make my walking look as natural as possible. So I had probably only been up on my feet without assistance for 3 weeks at that point when I posted the video. So those 3 weeks were mostly me trying to make it look as normal as possible and not too shaky, so that if I did decide to post it, I wouldn't be embarrassed. Dude, you got nothing to be fucking embarrassed about. Chris Bay shares what he can remember. He says, I remember from the day being sore from Bound for Glory crazy match. Once the adrenaline wore off at BFG, I was feeling it. So when I walked in that next day, I was like, man, I hope I'm cutting a promo today. I said I did not feel like wrestling. As soon as I heard I was wrestling the Hardys, I was like, sweet, double-edged sword. Because you're wrestling the Hardys, but then physically you don't want to do it. Then I told myself, and I told Ace too, these guys used to do this 6 nights a week. We can do it. It's no big deal. The match was going good. We had a lot of time, which was different from the first time we met those guys, just team versus team. First time we didn't have a lot of time. This time we had more time. I'm in there with my best friend and 2 of my idols. It's a night off essentially, and then a spot that you've done a million times up until this point goes wrong. As soon as it goes wrong, you don't notice what's wrong. You just know something isn't right. I felt a jolt. It was a neck breaker. We missed each other, Matt and I, by an inch. I felt a jolt, and I felt a little bit of discomfort. Referee Daniel Spencer comes over and checks on me. Chris, are you okay? I was like, yeah, I think so. Just roll me out of the way, because I needed help rolling out of the way. I didn't realize how much help I needed. Austin said it didn't look like I needed a lot. It looked like I helped too. I just felt, yeah, well, I mean, it might not even all have not, his shit might have not fully stopped working then either. That might have happened like regression, Like you can fucking hurt your back and then it doesn't, all of a sudden you wake up the next day and you're like, oh, like your fucking whole body can't move, So goddamn, just thank God it wasn't worse, But yeah, he's saying he was numb. It was a weird feeling. He's yelling at the ref now, telling Jeff not to do the swanton. They're like, are you all right? He's yelling. Yeah, just scary, scary stuff. A very scary PWT here on Saturday, right? But I'm just glad he's okay. And yeah, I don't know. He's like, I'm laying there. The doctor asked me if I can wiggle my toes. Once he asked me that, I go, I can't feel my toes. I realized, okay, this is serious. Just scary stuff, man. But then he shares the light at the end of the tunnel here. He shares something CM Punk, the cancer Phil here, right? What he shared with him. He says, Chris Bay said this is what CM Punk said to him. So Chris Bay told CVV, what made me not quit was I was alive. And when I got that diagnosis, 10 to 25% chance of walking again for maybe 24 to 48 hours. I was a little messed up about it. I just couldn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it. And I was telling myself it's better than 0% chance, but I was still doubting a little bit. But then I had a conversation with Punk. And it was a very simple conversation where he said something along the lines of, I think that diagnosis is that percent applies to humans and you're not human. And I had to put my whole life into perspective. I had less % chance of becoming a pro wrestler. Like, think about Punk. One of the GOATs, man, he just goes, dude, that shit applies to humans. You're not a fucking human. And then the dude walks again. Like, holy shit, man. That is going to be in that dude's movie one day. You know what I mean? Powerful shit from Punk, man. You got to love that. But he's a cancer, bro. Someone's cutting onions over here.
Emotional damage.
Fuck, man. That's amazing. So, Chavo Guerrero. Ooh, Chavo. He showed up on TNA, and he takes a shot at Dominic Mysterio. So, hopefully, he just, whipped this out of his ass, and it's going to result in a TNA match. Chavito versus Dom, dude. That'd be fucking amazing.
Well, the verdict is still out on Dominic. We're not sure if he's a Guerrero yet. We're waiting to find out. His mom did get around, and Eddie was damn good looking.
Okay, what the fuck?
You know what? I'm sick.
That's pretty crazy. Here's Chris Bay actually saying it to Giga Chad Van Vliet. Shout him out. I know I read it, but here's him speaking it from his own lips over to CVV, what CM Punk told him.
The day I woke up from surgery, the first thing I thought was I'm alive. I was grateful to be alive. Because if I wasn't supposed to be here anymore, I wouldn't have been. So once I woke up, one of the first things I kept saying was day one. And it's people use that phrase before. It's not I didn't create the phrase day one. For me, it just meant this is day one as far as my new life, my new obstacle, my new journey. Everything, I break everything up into seasons in life. The season that I chased this, the season that I pursued this, and this was a new season for me. So what made me not quit was I was alive. And when I got that diagnosis, for maybe 24 to 48 hours, I was a little messed up about it. I just couldn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it.
Shout out Chris Bay. Everyone go follow him. Go donate to his, they have a donate link for Pray for Bay. And shout out Giga Chad Van Vliet and Insight.
And I was telling myself,
and TNA Wrestling and CM Punk.
It's better than 0% chance. But I still was doubting a little bit. But then I had a conversation with Punk, and it was a very simple conversation where he said something along the lines of, I think that diagnosis and that percentage applies to humans, and you're not human. And I had to put my whole life into perspective. I've had a less % chance of becoming a professional wrestler and landing on TV. I've had a lot less odds with everything that I've done in my life up until this point. So who's to say I can't beat this one?
Hell yeah, dude. That's gangster shit. That's like Bruce Lee, too. He got his back broke, and they're like, you ain't going to walk. And then he fucking just started walking again. So these boots are made for walking. So here is Joe Hendry. Say his name, and he appears in motherfucking PUBG Mobile. This game's huge. Like, globally, this is a fucking one of the #1 games in the world. And Joe Hendry's a character in it. This is massive for just like a TNA wrestler. You know what I mean? This is fucking huge. Yeah. Shout out Joe Hendry.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Just the amount of people that just heard that jingle too and are like, what the fuck is that? That's insane, man. Fucking good for him, dude. That's amazing. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was TNA news. Can I get a banjo?
Be gone.
How's chat doing? I'm going to check in with chat. Then we're going to switch gears and get into some WWE news. We're going to review Smackdown. Smackdown. Connor Hassler became a new member. Thank you very much, my guy. Memberships 99 cents. Do member shows once a week. I'm going to do one here maybe tomorrow, maybe just one of the days I don't stream. Stay on lookout for member stuff. And sometimes it's a pre-recorded show or like an AMA or whatever I have on deck. And yeah, just bonus content. And then you support what I do. So anyways, let me see. Boris says Smackdown was terrible. You know, that's some bullshit. We're going to get into that. It wasn't fucking terrible. It's just that you all are complaining about the 3 hours. But if you watch it, like I'm in Canada, I just watch the shit after with no ads. Or like I can pause it and then, you know, you fast forward through the ads or whatever. Let's say I pause it, run out, do something, come back. I'll just fast forward through these ads. It's way more digestible that way. And I get it. That's a luxury. So that's a privilege for me. So yeah, I get it. When you're trying to watch it live, it's shitty because it can just drag on and on and on. But really, it wasn't like terrible, you know, for the most part. SmackDown was good. See, people fucking agree with me. I'm still getting used to PST. Yeah, dude, I started early too. You know, it's like I got some grass to touch tonight. People on the East Coast are always 2 hours ahead. Just got to fucking start early. Let's see here. I once played Pong on Atari. Okay. No one's surprised. Vintage George Capture. Okay. Everyone's tapped in. That was more a shot at his mom. Yeah, that was crazy. He said that on TNA. But you know he gets the pass because they're all familiar. Okay, so let's head over here to Bleacher Report. And let's play some break. Or maybe I need like a jingle for reviews as well, not just breaking news for WWE. It's not even breaking. We're going to figure this out, chat, together, okay? Suggestions are welcome. So let me see here. Smackdown, okay? And this is the reason I wanted to review it, because motherfuckers are upset and they're like, oh, the 3-hour Smackdown's such a drag. I don't think that's entirely true. Like I said, if you're just not watching it, if you're watching without commercials, it's not a drag. It's literally a 2-hour show. There's 1 hour of ads stuffed in. So that's why. I get it, man. That's fucking terrible. When you're watching it just on Netflix or whatever after, the shit is, when you're Netflix and filling after, it's just 2 hours, like on the nose, I think, maybe like a couple minutes over. So it goes by in a breeze. However, yeah, was this like the greatest Smackdown of all time? No, they're clearly preserving people for Mania, right? So that's totally fine. But anyways, what did we have? The opening segment. So I'll just read what Bleacher Report okay, after a quick introduction, Randy Orton. So he comes out. I tweeted it out. He just gets amazing pops. People yelling, screaming, singing. They're in Italy. They're in Bologna. And Orton just absorbs it, man. He just takes his sweet-ass time getting to the ring, and he deserves every moment of that. And what did he say? He can forgive Cody Rhodes if he can forgive KO for attacking him, blah, blah, blah. Basically, this is what happened in this, okay, guys? KO comes out and starts gaslighting Randy Orton and is like, bro, we should win the tag titles at Mania together, and basically what comes of this is we get KO versus Randy Orton at Mania. Now, some people are saying it needs some sort of stipulation. Chat, you guys can let me know what stipulation you think would be best. Obviously, just hardcore, let them do whatever the fuck. But it all just depends, on what they have booked for each night, because you don't want too much of that. Let's see. Punk appeared during the intro video. Oh, yeah, he comes out later. So Drew McIntyre and Shinsuke versus Jimmy and Damian. This was a solid match at one point. Uso, like Jimmy did the dive that Jay fucked up, right? And those little things are going to get him like over. People are going to start going, well, Jimmy's the better wrestler and shit. And I think one day those two are going to redeem themselves for that shitty WrestleMania match they did at 40. I think they're going to like go again at like 45 or 43 or something. And they're going to like as like not even rivals, but we respect each other, but we got to go at it, And I could see that being like their redemption match for the one they did before. But it was funny to see Jimmy like sticking it to his brother like that. This guy wrote this feels like a 2010 WWE match. Okay, I'm not gonna read his like fucking review of it. Other than the guide here, but yeah, Priest and Uso won. Nakamura as well. People are saying he's leaving. I just don't believe that. But I also wouldn't be shocked because he's probably getting paid a shitload. But he doesn't seem like the guy who wouldn't take a pay cut to just chill and go to UFCs and power slaps and wrestle a match here and there. He's an attraction. His body's fucking beat up too from all the years. Not saying he's not as good in the ring, but just look at him even like 4 years ago, and he's just got that extra spring that's, you don't know if it's because these guys aren't really getting used, so they're like, fuck it, I can just, but he stays training jiu-jitsu all the time, so I just think he's did that strong style for so long, man. It's like whatever. Shinsuke's happy he's a legend in my mind. In my mind, he doesn't need like the world title to be a Hall of Famer or anything like that. He's challenged for the world title at Mania. He's won the Rumble, multiple title reigns, King of the Ring. Yeah, Shinsuke's that fucking dude. He's an attraction. So, and not like he's this ginormous megastar attraction, but not all attractions are that, right? Like the fucking dog face boy, the bearded lady might not have been as popular as the dog face boy, or the guy who rips the phone books in half, but God damn it, some people want to see the bearded lady, you know what I mean? So it's like that if you think about it. So Strowman and Fatu, basically what this whole thing is they're just trying to recreate that chaos and madness, which is good. This is what I mean. Injuries sometimes act as blessings, right? For instance, you can time travel with me a bit. When Triple H hurt himself and then he comes back and then I am the game on, and then he becomes the undisputed champion at 18, Mania 18. That was like a good, I know it's shitty that he tore his fucking knee off, like the muscles off the bone, but because of that injury, he came back and it was like, whoa, right? When Cena came back at that Rumble in like superhuman speed, right? When Ilya Dragunov, he was just kind of floundering on the main roster. I'm sorry. I know people stan Dragunov. Listen, he was so boring and just on the main roster. Like, he's having good matches, cool. But what about him? I don't know. It just wasn't cooking for me. He got hurt. Watch him come back and it's gonna click when he comes back. Watch. There's gonna be a spot for him where there wasn't before, somewhere meaningful. You know, and I say all of this to bring it to Jacob Fatu and Braun Strowman, the destruction stuff. Bronson Reed got hurt. That's so shitty, but now Jacob can be that guy. That's like, oh, when he comes out, shit's going to explode. Because it was already, oh, when he comes out, people are going to get, what's that Russell Peters joke? Somebody going to get hurt real bad, right? He's going to get hurt real. Somebody going to get their ass kicked. Somebody going to get their wig split. Someone's going to get beat the fuck up. And 3,200 fucking security guards are going to run out to try and stop him. And you're going to see a big giant werewolf guy jump through the fucking air. But it wasn't like, oh, shit's going to explode and, you know what I mean? Destruction throughout the building and carnage. And that was Bronson Reed's shit. He gets hurt, unfortunate, but now Jacob can kind of give us that, fulfill that role. And him and Strowman are just destroying shit. And Strowman won by DQ. And I love it. I don't know. People are shitting on this. Fatu starts snapping on Sikoa as well because he got DQ'd. And he's like backstage later throwing shit around. That was my match, Oos. And just cutting his promos, showing like he can cut promos better than anyone else too. And I think they're keeping us on our toes with that. Like, I think we might get Fatu and Sikoa. Me and Husey were DMing. We're like, well, it's definitely not that again now all of a sudden. And then it's like, oh, it might still be that. So it could also be like a backlash thing. You need to have not all stories conclude at Mania, you know, a good amount of them, but then you got to have some carryover. So who knows? Also, at some point in the notes here, I'm reading Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton had a conversation split screen, Riddle, Seth style, or as MMA fans know it, you know, Connor and Nate Diaz had an infamous one, but more prominently John Jones and DC. And that's sort of where everyone steals this, like, I'm going to disrespect you. And Charlotte really cooked Tiffy here. Again, like, Charlotte's cringe, but this was really good the way she just undermined her and played the heel. And I don't know, it kind of diminished Tiffy a bit, but that's being like really fickle and nitpicky. Like, in the grand scheme, it doesn't. But in that moment, it was like, damn, she's cooking her. But that's where it's like, okay, Tiffy's got to get her back now. So that's the whole, you know, that's what they're doing. They're working us into like, fuck, man, I want to see Charlotte lose so bad. Everyone's like, Charlotte better lose this fucking match. And the way she's talking, it's like she might fucking go in there and walk out with this belt. You know, we really don't know. Great stuff. Again, but this wasn't as good as like the Riddle Rollins one or anything, but this was still solid work from Charlotte, just burying Tiffy, basically making her look fucking stupid. Knight and Tonga messes up a backdrop over the top rope. It was, yeah. So we had LA Knight. Oh yeah, there was a bunch of, everyone runs in the afterbirth stuff. Everyone explodes for LA Knight. By the way, the crowd is so hot through the whole fucking night. Piper Niven and the Slagents or whatever. I don't know what the fuck they're called. The CI Slay or whatever. I don't know. Chelsea Green's group with Niven and Alba Fire. They are already in the ring. I don't even know if they got an entrance. But Zelina Vega gets an entrance with her. I don't know. I don't want to say it's shitty, but it's super mid new entrance music, right? And I don't know. They obviously moved her back there. Throughout the night, we get a Rey Fenix vignette where it's clearly Rey Fenix, and then all the dirt sheets are like, oh, Rey Fenix officially signed. And it's like, he already was before they start shooting vignettes, guys. Again. Yeah, it's like, yes, there. I don't know. I don't have to keep explaining this shit. He's already signed before they have the vignettes. Okay, trust me. Anyways, we also get the Malachi Black vignette, and it's got like a 4, and people are like, oh, there's a 25 somewhere. I don't see a 25. I'm also a dumb fuck idiot, so who knows? I might just be missing it. I was looking hard for it. However, yeah, I guess he's going to be at the first SmackDown after Mania. So I predicted on Raw, you just raise him up from his lights go out. He raises up from the coffin. It's Malachi Black or Aleister Black if he goes back to that name. Doesn't really matter. But they're going to do it on SmackDown, which obviously, because Zelina was moved over there a little bit randomly. I said out of the blue. Get it? Out of the blue because it's on SmackDown. Where's my badumts? Where is it? There we go. So, yeah, he's going to go there, and that's cool, too. They're going to probably do the same shit I said, just instead of Raw, it's on SmackDown. That works for me, brother, because, yeah, you know, I don't think WWE are in a rush to bring Miro and Lana back at all. I don't think they're in a rush to do that. And I don't think Miro and Lana are, like, in a big rush to go back there right now. Maybe I'm totally wrong, but I was talking about before, if Miro can go and just get those big, huge Qatar pro wrestling bags and shit like that, you know, he'll be fine, you know? But anyways, yeah, it's obviously Malachi. So that's really cool, man. We're going to get Phoenix and Malachi roughly at the same time, or no? Like, does Phoenix show up? I think maybe Phoenix could show up to SmackDown before Mania, or what? Or did they give us an exact date that I didn't see? I'm not sure. Either way, Liv Morgan took on Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill got a massive reaction. So did Liv. My God. They were chanting at her, she's so beautiful or some shit like that. Liv is just awesome in her role. Jade is still kind of green, but she's getting there. She's getting there. Was a lot better than like you remember before her comeback. Her hairstyle looked kind of cool too. It was very different. She looked very intimidating and imposing and just so unique in the match. The way her makeup was done and her gear and her size, obviously, and the way her hair was done. It was done a different way to where you're not used to seeing it. Very like Mystique-ish or something like that. But someone probably has a better reference than that. I'm sure a lady in the chat in this fucking sausage party here has a better analogy than that. But God, she just looks like a fucking superstar. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to shit all over her wrestling. It wasn't the worst. This was really good. A lot of that's because Liv is obviously leading, and that's not to take anything away from Jade, you know? And then Naomi comes out dressed like Owen Hart and like beats her down. So that was a thing, I guess. And there's heat on Naomi. So I guess Naomi Jade is the match at Mania too. Like, I'm interested in that one. We get Los Garzas versus the Street Profits. The Street Profits get their new music that's like, we outside and we want the smoke. Here's the thing with it being their quote unquote new music. If I'm not mistaken, someone fact check me on this. Phil typically don't miss, but I'm pretty sure that song is in like 2K23 and 2K24, maybe 2K24. I can't remember which one, okay? Sorry, chat. Maybe it was the last one. And no, not the new one, so I don't have that one. The last game, 2K24 or whatever. Okay? That song was in there as like Street Profits heel or like Street Profits alt theme or whatever. So I don't know if this is a remix version of that or if this was a theme they used like once and then they bailed on when they were teaming with Lashley or something. Can you guys remember? I don't know, but I'm more than positive I already knew this theme. Like when it started playing, maybe it's a remix of an old one, but just that we outside, we want the smoke. That's on one of the video games 100%. But anyways, though, they just got huge, like, you deserve it chance. And it's crazy because they kind of went heel, but everybody's just behind them. They're like, you're the fucking cool heels, and you deserve it. And they're not really doing heel shit. And Los Garzas, you could argue, are fucking heels as well. So they were more the baby face, I guess. Whatever. They get the win. Crazy ass match. A lot of cool spots. They did a crazy spot where Montez Ford did like a flip out of the corner and everyone looked at him all shocked and everything. His athleticism, second to none. I want to see these two have a lengthy reign. Beat all the teams and feud with some of them. You know, like fucking, I want to see them beat Motor City, DIY, all these teams. Garza's, they just beat all of them. I want to see them just rack up the W's against these teams. And not all the way at once either. But, yeah, I don't want to see these titles get jumbled around. These tags have been jumbled around so much to where now you have a team like this, the lengthy run they deserve and that people have wanted. And then you can split them the fuck up when all's said and done or whatever you got to do. But just let them have this one long run with them. And then bounce the Raw ones around a bit if you want some more. And then basically at the end we had CM Punk, or well, first off, we had Roman Reigns come out. The fucking place erupts. They all are like, you know, acknowledge me and all this shit. And they're like, we acknowledge you, but in Italiano. And they're like, OTC and YTC and whatever they're chanting at Roman Reigns. And it was awesome. And then you had Seth come out. They're all singing his shit. You have Punk come out. They're going insane, singing his theme word for so many of the wrestlers. And they just all duked it out, brawled it out. Just a vicious, again, just another real looking good brawl. Testator's doing an amazing job of getting over like little things like, oh, Seth is in the fray, pulls Roman. Oh, but his hatred for Punk is just, you know, Testator's really got his roll down now, you know? So to the point where you kind of take it for granted. You're like, damn, he just really came into this shit. You know, he's doing so good. So that was awesome. This guy grades it a C. Like, come on, man. I feel like it was way hotter than that. And people are saying this is the main event of WrestleMania. I don't know about that, chat. Did they announce that officially? Chat, correct me right now in the next 1 second if they announce that officially. A lot of sign pointing. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that, but you gotta fucking, here we go. Let's see. Did they announce it? Like, my whole thing is this. One of the Mania nights has to end with Yeet a Mania. Okay? It has to end with like confetti in the whole building. Yeet. And then the next night or the first, whichever one they put Cody Rhodes Cena on, could end with Cody winning or fucking John Cena, obviously, but that's going to be the outcome. One of those two winning. But like either way, I'm not going to be mad. Like, I'm trusting the story, the direction they're going with this one. But let's say Cena wins the one night or whatever. I truly feel like one show has to end with Cody Cena no matter what, and one has to end with a Yeetamania this year. No? That has to be. So I don't think this triple threat, it'll be a co-main or something like that. Jay will open, and then they do the confetti and the whole building yeeting. Where do you go from that? That's the biggest, craziest, wildest pop. So where do you go from that? I just don't think so. I think that has to be the end to one of the nights. Confetti, him yeeting, him crying. No one thinks because the idea is like, he's not going to beat Gunther. He's just the yeet guy. They're still trying to like get that narrative over. So I think you got to end one of the nights with the confetti and the yeeting and the crying and the families and, you know, that's just my opinion though. So we will have to see. Yeah, sadly, you are right. Let me check in with chat here. Sadly, you are right. It's too tempting to have 80K people yeeting 10 night one. That's what I'm saying, dude. Because that will be like the moment that they play all the time. George Capture says, I'm with Jamie. Yeet will open IMO. It could. I mean, fuck it. This is such a good problem for instead of like, and again, not to lower fucking AEW or anything, but AEW, it's like, oh man, there's so many matches. None of these are going to stand out. In WWE, it's like, dude, they'll put 7 matches on each night or something like that. And we're like, which big matches could main event? They're all so big and they have so many stars that you care about. That's just the key thing. And that's what's so good about this WrestleMania coming up. But yeah, guys, round of applause for I think that's Matt Kemp in the corner there, and my review of Smackdown. And let's head over to some WWE news. How about that? Let me just see. Where's my fucking... Here we go. So, in Federation news, okay, we see Cena's dates there. NXT did a 676,000 in viewership with a 0.15 in the key demo, Brian. My review quickly of NXT, I just gave one of SmackDown. I'm not going to go as in depth with NXT. Not that it wasn't a good show, but basically they had the underground match. Trick won by a quick TKO over Thorpe, which was fucking awesome. And in the underground match, and then you had Femi come out, and then Javon Evans, and then that group is called Dark State, and the one guy from LFG is there, and they're like, you might remember some of these superstars from Evolve, but they didn't say LFG because I think they know that would make everyone go, isn't that guy in this group on fucking LFG? Because I'm the only one pointing it out because he's always wearing a fucking ski mask, but that's him, that Cutler guy, 100%. Either way, though, chugging some beer. What? Yeah, Ricky Starks had a bit of a rough match. He didn't really get Ridge up for that Rochambeau. I also felt like it was a match where Ridge was kind of testing Ricky a bit. Like IRL. He looked like he was moving a little heavy and working a little stiff with. Go back and watch. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but he looked like it's kind of like, okay, you're new here, bud. Like, I got sent down from the main roster, dude. I was over his shit with Sheamus and them. Like, hey, bro, you're gonna have to earn this one. So I'm not saying anyone's going into business, but just like a learning experience. Like, hey, I get it, you're over, but don't, like, you're here with me now, and I'm gonna put you over, but you're gonna have to earn this one, kind of shit, you know. So that's what it looked like to me. I don't know. Looked like some old school wrestling, and it looked like a struggle. So that's not always a bad thing. But Ricky. Yeah, you know, it was just a bit of he'll get there. He's new and they're just throwing him to the wolves, right? So he's not worked like Ridge has in the PC's worked everyone in the fucking PC. You know, all the people in the PC have worked each other a million times behind closed doors and on camera. So according to sources, this is Wrestle Votes, not Westel. According to sources, another name being discussed internally for the WWE Hall of Fame class 2025 is the Ugandan giant Kamala. Kamala, who had a successful career throughout the 80s and 90s, is expected to join Triple H, Lex Luger, and others in this year's class. I forget what podcast I went on. I forget what show. I think it was like Toonie Talk or something, but I went on someone's show and it was like, I think they were like, no political stuff, or it was like the election was going on, and I was like, first thing I said, I'm like, so Kamala Harris, the Ugandan giant. Everyone just fucking started laughing. That was good shit. Anyways, yeah, they keep saying that the natural disasters and now Kamala, the Ugandan giant. Here's the problem. Where? When? We're like 3 weeks away. We're like a month away or whatever, dude. So when? When? Just the last 2 in the last coming weeks? The advertisements are all rolling out where it seems like just these 3 kind of key. So maybe they are like, here's the 3 one main headliner, 2 big names, and not that like the Ugandan giant isn't a big name or the natural disasters aren't, but maybe they just have quick sort of, because it's the Triple H era, man. I could see them totally reformatting the way they do this whole thing to begin with, right? So And like last year's was a testament to how Triple H is like, everyone go off the cuff and shit, you know? Like, just say what you want. Speak your truth. You're getting inducted. It's your moment, you know? So I don't know. Hopefully they announce them last minute, and that'd be cool. I hope they do go in. The more the merrier. Honestly, there's a lot that Vince sort of left out for a long time that it's like, oh, come on now. Federation, that's not very fair. Okay, so Brock Lesnar was asked about his WWE return by some fan thing. Sportskeeda's like, a correspondent was there in Texas. I don't think that's what it was. He was in Austin, Texas, and I think someone just ran up on him and asked him. And he responded, we'll see. So Julian Ward tagged me in this at Pro Wrestle Times why Shinsuke was gone for a bit because he was doing voice acting. So there you go. Crushing it. Moving along. Mr. Kennedy. Talked about Tiffany Stratton, and he like trained her, which I didn't know. So he's like, and this is on Cafe de Renee with Renee Dupree. Ken Kennedy says, or Mr. Anderson says, she got the athleticism immediately. You bump a certain way, you get up a certain way. The first time she got up the wrong way, and I was like, and then the next time she did it perfectly. She's a gymnast, bro. Gymnastics, I think, is one of the best basis to cross over with into pro wrestling for sure. And I never had to tell her again. She would get stuff like that, but no personality. She was focused on the physicality part. So I've got her first promo that she ever did, and it was rough. But to see her coming out of her shell, my wife and I, maybe we are biased, but I feel like what we've seen, that she's got a really bright future. Like she could be a Charlotte Flair or a Mickie James or one of those mainstays. It is a good feeling to see someone he trained doing well. But at the same time, I know we were supposed to show bravado, but she would have made it if someone else was training her too. So staying humble. And hopefully he taught her the most important lesson. Don't piss Randy Orton off, because then you're high. Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Six are cleared to compete. WWE is waiting for the right time to reintroduce the faction, according to Fightful gossip there. WWE backstage interviewer Megan Morant just shared on IG that she recently became a mom. Big congrats to her and her family. Yeah, shout her out. I know I fucking shit on her all the time. And her and Sam Roberts is fucking zero chemistry, negative fucking 3 chemistry. But she just started a family in that, so good for her. Glad for her. So the Mona Lisa by my side. What's the story? Right? What's that? What is that song? My heart goes bang, bang. Is that a song? Yeah. I'm not just making that up because I'm a fucking insane person. They painted Liv Morgan as the Mona Lisa, dude. So check the Italia WWE fans. Incredible that they did this. And they showed it on the broadcast. People were like bowing to it and shit. Yeah. Craziness. We have another one. Cody Rhodes is the Pope. That's funny. I did another one with the Street Profits of the Super Mario Brothers. Oh shit. So WWE Hall of Famer Sean Waltman, one of my personal favorites of all time. When I watch old shit, man, the 1, 2, 3 Kid was just over with me, you know? And X-Pac 6, I just loved him. Every version of fucking X-Pac. He's one of my favorites. Just one of the light heavyweight dudes. Like during the Invasion as well, when he was, you know, in the mix for the cruiserweight and the light heavyweight titles and stuff. Like that was all shit I look back on so fondly. You're dealing with the X Factor. Even that shit, dude. Yeah, huge Sean Waltman fan. But anyways, he says, or he doesn't say this, but according to the Wrestling Observer, So, yeah, take this with a grain of salt. Waltman is now contributing to the company's future by analyzing video footage of developmental talent and providing constructive feedback on their performance, offering guidance on areas for improvement and highlighting their strengths. The duration of Waltman's involvement in this advisory role is currently unknown. I quote tweeted it and said, so doing what he's always done, just getting an official job title and getting paid for it. You know what I'm saying? Guys, there's like 400 people watching across the platforms there. Make sure you run the likes up on the clip channel to 100 at least, or Jericho's going to fucking visit us. We're at 74 likes, for shame. Chris Jericho's about to do a run-in, dude. Anyways, though, yeah, he's already been doing this. Like, I'm sure he picks up the phone and tells Triple H guys he likes and da-da-da-da. Rey Fenix has officially signed with WWE again. When they tell you Punk signed at 5 a.m. and they show the video of him doing pen to paper, dude, there's digital signatures. Okay. I know America knows all about those right now. Okay. But there's a such thing as that. They're fucking, you can use them to sign contracts and then put pen to paper later just so they have it and shit. There's ways to digitally agree, you know, to contracts and stuff before they start filming vignettes. So who even like I'm saying, if let's give them the benefit of the doubt and say he put pen to paper at this time. Okay. You can sign before that other ways, right? But I guarantee you was signed before they started fucking shooting vignettes for him and stuff. Okay. I'm willing to bet anything because it would. It's illegal, bro, you know? Here's the Malachi Black vignette. Everybody believes it's Malachi Black. I think so, too, because Zelina's there, so they put everyone with their spouses. Auto pen, someone said in chat. Yeah, you use that shit. I personally signed contracts that way, okay? That's how you do it. So in 2025. So yeah, definitely they have agreements in place. Otherwise, they're not going to waste funds. Or like, sure, they'll spend funds and time on people they're going to invest in and drop it and stuff. That's happened. Of course, that's going to happen in the entertainment business. But as far as a guy like Ray, they're like clearly I'm 25 now. 420, man. It's just like who's making their comeback? RVD. He's just blazing under there. It's the smoke from his blunt. But look at down here. This is a face. This is what I kept trying to tell everyone. See, that's Malachi's face. And this is what I keep trying to tell everyone. I was more focused on like, look at what the smoke is like going over someone's back or something like that. Like it's like going around something. And I believe down here is like the top of his head, maybe with his trippy paint or whatever. Maybe I'm off on that. But yeah, 425, the SmackDown after, sure. It's going to be after Mania, though, folks, okay? There's no point in debuting him now. Rey Fenix, I think, could pop up anytime, really. Right? Like, they're wrong, chat? I don't know. I can't wait, and I'm glad that he gets his own. And doesn't he do and this is going to sound so Markish, right? But doesn't he do the Fire Thunder Driver? Am I wrong about that as well? Like, I think that's a move he does. So it's kind of like Fire, Lightning, Thunder. You know fucking Mark! Phil S. Marks to you. But yeah, I am excited, dude. He's going to just stand out so tremendously. So Italian rapper Anna was there, and she kept doing this salute. And yeah. This guy goes, Undisputed Capo goes, hold on now, who does? Yeah, she's fine as wine. Giving her look off in the distance, holding the gold title. And the crowd reacted for her. So I guess she's like a top Billboard rapper or something like that. Speaking of rapping, we heard Becca's diss track earlier in the show. Here's Nikita Lyons' diss track on Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. So let's take a listen to this. The Meta Girls.
It's Nikita Lyons, baby. Yeah. I put the poppin', pop star. Past few years, I flopped hard. I'm a whole different cat now. Big raw since we last fought, been through the ringer. Oh Lord, Lash, you've been doing legendary lately. I see when I was up while you hated me, I was in your way. Lashes on your face, no scene, couldn't see me, had to premeditate. I was gone, but I'm back now. I'ma eat you up and spit you out. I was gone, but I'm back now. You're still out with that big mouth. Wow, won't lie, you.
Listen. Becca fucking bodies Nikita Lyons. No, fucking, I said it, dude. I don't give a shit. Fuck it, man. Becca bodies Nikita Lyons, dude. What the fuck is this? Come on now, man. What is this shit? Oh my god, what is this shit? Let's try and get through this. Listen, Nikita's gotta be a fucking valet. I've said it. Right, she's beautiful. I get it. She understands the business to a degree. She's a little bit cringe. She don't even got to be a mouthpiece. She can nunchuck girls, do karate, sing, dance, rap. She tries to do everything. Pick like one thing and make that your thing. She wears all these crazy ass outfits. She's thicker than a Snicker. Have her do that and hit motherfuckers with nunchucks in order to, you know, get her team a win or whatever when the ref's not looking. What the fuck is this?
Bad, but let's run the back. Remember how I sat on you in my ride. Don't be acting mad when I'm.
Wait, what was even the fuck? Wait, let's run this back. Hold on. Speaking of run it back, let's run this back. What the fuck?
Won't lie, you bad, but let's run the back. Remember how I sat on you in my ride. Don't.
What? Wait, what did she just say? Hang in, let's run it back. Do you remember when I sat on your raw? Hold on, chat. I have to bring this back. What is she saying?
I was gone, but I'm back now. You're still out with that big mouth. Wow. Won't lie, you bad, but let's run the back. Remember how I sat on you in my ride.
Let's run it back. You remember how I sat on you with my raw.
Don't be acting mad when I'm up again. Like old times, girl, you were just a fad. I talk to the trees about you. I'm a nature goddess, won't be modest. I'm the lioness. Turn a man not to play back.
I talked to the trees about you.
About you, but he know what's good, who really runs this boo. Said I was going, but I'm back now. Been touching grass, now I'm ready to pounce. Booty ready to bounce. Big cat on you with a ground and pound. Yeah, let's run it. Harley Cameron bodies everybody. This is yeah, chat. You guys let me know what you think about that down there. Becca's infinitely better. Okay, so Glossy Rain says, I think about Roman's one-sided beef with Ariana Grande every day. So Roman Reigns had this to say about Ariana Grande, I guess some years ago or something at Disney's Epcot. He said, what took so long is she ride in the Epcot ball and she wanted to do it again. It wasn't even a good ride. Holding me and my daughter, or sorry, it wasn't even a good ride. Why would you want to do it again? Her group was holding me and my daughter up from riding the ride as quickly as we wanted to. When she came out, it was her and an entourage of 20 to 30 people. Sean Brady finished Leon Edwards, by the way, I believe. Or at least destroyed him at the end of the fight there. To where, like, he was just laying on him the whole time. I was completely bored. But anyways, you just see this little tiny person, barely can see her because she's so little. I felt like my daughter was starstruck. Okay. So here is Gunther and AJ Styles showing each other respect, and Gunther saying that AJ Styles is one of the fucking goats. Yeah, Julia, you sent me a fucking screaming goat sound, like one of the goats that go, ah! We need like a bah, you know? But thank you. But it scared the shit out of me when I played it.
Kampftag ist vorbei, sehr erfolgreich. Käfig-Match gegen AJ Styles, wirklich bin ich sehr zufrieden mit, muss ich ganz ehrlich sagen. AJ einer der besten, den es gibt. Vor allem wichtig, ich habe den verteidigt und ich habe in Dortmund mal allen klar gemacht, wer die Nummer 1 im Ruhrgebiet ist. Also was ein sehr erfolgreicher Abend. Dankeschön. Erster Abend.
So there you go. I didn't understand a word he just fucking said, but thank you for the subtitles. Steve Carrier says, regarding Rey Fenix, without asking, I can tell you in most cases, WWE doesn't start running teasers and making plans unless the deal is locked. There you go. That's what I was saying before. Exactly. So that contract stuff today probably signed and sealed a while ago. Yeah, I mean, it goes without saying. So good thing I bookmarked that because Steve Carrier's
can at least be like, from my experience, you know. You think Mark Henry made the right call? So Mark Henry re-signs with WWE under Legends deal. Round of applause for Mark Henry and WWE news. We're going to get into some AEW trash here. I'm going to check in with chat. I have to pull some things up here as far as what's going to come up next on the show. So let me do that. We're going to get into some AEW news. And we're going to talk about the Moxley spike in the back thing. And I got some insight from someone who sent me some good shit, pal. So we're going to get into that as well. But first, yeah, let me check in with chat. Let me sip some beer, see how you guys are doing. A ton of you watching, shit ton of you watching. We're live on X too, so welcome X people if you're here. Okay, I'm just listening to Sean Brady. Yeah, I just missed it right at the end there, unfortunately, but I was reading about Ariana Grande. Okay. Cheers, chat, by the way. Here, let me put a little something in the chat for you guys. Cheers. Cheers to you all. So I appreciate you all for being here. This is an amazing evening. We have lots more to get to. We got sickos. We got Dave. I am kind of jetting through stuff. You're going to touch some grass tonight. You know what I mean? And hopefully my East Coast folks are appreciative of the fact that I started a little earlier this weekend. I'll do that when there's not like a PLE or something like, okay, we have to lock in and watch this. Just expect the Saturday shows sometimes to be a little earlier too. And that's a chill way to go about it. The replay is always up. And we're posting big numbers. So, yeah, and check out my interview with Big Trouble Ben Bishop if you haven't, guys. He just wrestled Nick Nemeth, and we had a fucking hilarious interview. He's a really great guy. And we had a blast, so make sure you guys check that out. The sicko segment is probably... I'm checking in with chat right now. Oh, here, let me check in with these guys first. George Capture, 82 likes, hit it. Sorry, guys, you did it to yourselves. Joining us now on the show, very special guest, none other than Chris Jericho.
I look and see it's not just me. So many others have stood where I stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spent our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. Let me get wild. Yay!
Dude, the ratings go. Jericho's a draw. Okay, so run those likes up to 100 now if you guys were waiting for Jericho. And Miss October 30 said, Phil, did you see my email? I didn't yet, okay? But I absolutely will. I'll check them probably tomorrow, okay? Just being totally honest. But I will see it, absolutely. And I love when you guys email me and send me stuff. And, yeah, Julia Gulia, though, she hits me with the sounds, so I make sure to check in with whatever she's sending me. You know what I mean? Here, sorry, I'm just doing something. Okay, here we drop this. And then here. Sorry, just passing something over to my wife there. Okay, good to go. Excellent. So, you guys did it to yourselves, though. Jericho shows up when you fuck around, you know? Warnings were given. Let's refresh it. Now, on the Clips channel, we need at least 100 likes. Why do you beg for likes? It's how this site works, dude. I'm fucking sorry, okay? It's how YouTube works. So if you're not on the Clips channel, consider checking us out on YouTube. If you're on X, go on my thing, and you'll see it pinned right to my profile. Come join us on YouTube. That's the place to be at, okay? Definitely with the chat and everything, too. So... I love Jericho. Jericho makes me laugh. Me too, dude. Honestly, someone said it in chat. I forget who it was, but at the start of the show, someone said it in chat. It was like Yushin, FXX or whatever, was like, I bet Phil is just nodding his head like Jericho listening. I was. I fucking love that song that I put together, and I love watching you all squirm in the chat when it comes on. We're gonna get into AEW news. You know what I'm saying? Kenny D became a new member though, so let's shout him out. Chat 99 cents.
Oh, come on
Consider
now,
it.
Eric.
All right. I ain't selling you fucking blue chews. I'm just asking you click that button and consider 99 cents. But yeah, so let's get into AEW news here in just a moment. I just have to pull something up off screen here as well. Where I got a message, right, from somebody who has wrestled, has done shit like this, has wrestled and tagged with AEW and like NXT level, maybe even like main roster WWE level people, but is not someone from AEW or NXT themselves, right? But I'm just gonna read what they said, and you guys can. And they sent me like pictures with fucking drawings on it and shit of like breaking down the whole spike thing, spike bat thing. But we're gonna read this, you know, because I thought this was really cool. So let's head over to this tab with AEW hot news. And everybody, what we do for AEW news is we all together now, Ichi, Ni, San. I was early. I fucked up. Hold on a second. Ready? All together now. Ichi, Ni, San, Da. Okay, you guys got it?
Sometimes
All
in
right.
life, you got to be a hoe.
So, on to AEW news here. This chart, again, we keep this chart here just to remind ourselves where Max is, so we just don't get gaslit by like the likes of Meltzer and anyone else talking shit. Mostly Meltzer and then WrestleNomics, you know, but then they just get owned. So Moxley drives 11 hours to be impaled by spikes on AEW Dynamite. So you guys saw the footage. I probably can't even play it on YouTube. Look at this guy's face in the front row. He's like, oh, you know, and they couldn't pull the spikes out. It was pretty crazy. Now, when my wife asked me, like, what went wrong? What went awry here? I was like, okay, you know, when you go to like the circus or whatever, and the dude lays out the fucking bed of nails, and then he like drops a watermelon and the fucking watermelon explodes. And he does that. So you're sitting there in your brain and you're like, holy shit, if this guy puts his body on there, he's going to explode. But then notice what the circus guy does. He lays down on the bed of nails, taking his time. He doesn't just back body drop on the bed of fucking nails because it gives it time. You know what I mean? And then he puts another bed on top, and then you can put a fucking cinder block or a motorcycle or whatever on top of the guy, right? Because what it's doing is it's sort of, I don't want to call it an illusion, but it's like, you know, it's a trick. Like they're laying on it. The circumference of the nails don't actually penetrate your skin that deeply if you're callous to it and you fucking lay down gently. But the reason they drop the melon on the bed of nails is to show you, like, look, your head can explode, because it fucking can. And that's the whole problem with this spike bat part. And I know people are like, okay, I'm okay. I watch death matches where people do like the gusset spots sometimes here or there, like Atrocity Cruel, right? You get hit with the light tubes, whatever, man. That goes down in pro wrestling. I'm not here to shit all over that. But it's when you're a fucking idiot and you don't do it correctly and you're dropping dolls that are collabs of Orange Cassidy and the Rizzler, then the next day Moxley's doing this shit. And it's like, well, what's your identity as a company? I really don't know. Is it the adult base, or is it just adults buying Rizzler dolls? That's fucking creepy. All right. So I don't know what's going on here, but ultimately Moxley fucked this up. Okay. And he fucked it up because it's a dumb, you don't just back body drop into nails. He could have really, really hurt himself. Could have RIP'd. But again, I don't get triggered by that shit. You can RIP from a scoop slam. Chris Bay said it. You do some shit you do all the time. But the problem with this one is that it's not something you do all the time. Right? And it's not like it did RIP him or he completely cooked himself, but he's for sure got a swollen back the next day going through that table after. Well, maybe his adrenaline was going, but that should probably hurt like fuck the next day. And then you have like Renee Paquette standing there after, like everything's all good. Oh, and I'm backstage with, and think about this. Here's the real problem with
Best
this,
guys,
okay?
Tony Khan.
Tony Khan thought what? People were skipping through channels during the halftime of March Madness, and instead of just having Edge win with confetti and streamers and people flipping channels go, oh, what the fuck? Edge is the champion of this company or whatever, and the crowd like, you deserve it, or all this shit. Instead of like them flipping the channel and seeing that, they're seeing fucking this guy with spikes in his, it's a literal gory Saw movie. It's like, whoa, is this guy fighting a knight? What the fuck is this? Why is there a mace stabbed into his back and they can't pull it out? It was so stupid, and they just have no identity, man. They have no fucking identity. And where do you go from here? This is the problem, right? So I can't remember who said this a long time ago, but I stole this from them. And they were like, hey, once you do the exploding super kick with the barbed wire shoe onto Moxley's face, that's the end of AEW. Like, where do you go from there? Where do you go from that? Right? A super kick with barbed wire wrapped around your foot and it explodes the guy's head. Where do you go from there? That's like this. And then they do a hypodermic needle. So they find, a way to get sickoer and sickoer, but like, that's the grand finale. A guy just got suplexed and stabbed in the back. The fucking 9 Inch Nails, right? Cue up one of their songs, chat. I'll sing it. No, but it's craziness. So this is what like somebody who's wrestled people in AEW, in NXT, okay, maybe main roster W. I'm not sure. I'm not not one of these Sally namers over here. It doesn't matter. You guys just take this as you will. This is something that was written to me, pictures and all this shit. But this person says, I'm just getting around to seeing this stuff. A bunch of stuff happened yesterday, blah, blah, blah. It was done wrong as well. The nail board stuff is usually not done, as it doesn't give the right effect. You have to use a lot of nails so it ends up working like a bed of nails thing. So as I explained, like, you have to use a bunch of them, because otherwise it just looks like you're laying on them gently, or else you impale yourself too. So this gentleman says, my guess is he had less nails in it to get more of an effect. So again, this guy isn't watching AEW all the time, guys. And I don't know if he knows that Edge is walking around with this fucking spiked thing, which I explained to him later. I'm like, well, Edge has been walking around with this thing. I think he's just an idiot and fucking took a suplex on it, right? But so let me see here. Okay, less nails into it to get more of an effect, but at the same time didn't do the mechanics right at all. As bad as death matches look, a lot of those weapons have a science to them. Nails going in all different ways and in such few spots. I know it looked like a lot, but think of a bed of nails. Right. And then he literally sent me a picture of a bed of nails and then this. And that's exactly it. These nails are spread out. So like, I don't know if Moxley thought this was a good idea. I don't know if he saw a circus guy do this and he's like, I can do that then. Oh, I see circus people do, like, I don't know what went wrong, but again, man, someone's got to quality control the shit. So this gentleman says, nails going in all different ways in such few spots. I know it looked like a lot, but think of a bed of nails, or like the Jim Rose circus from when we were younger. It's just not safe at all. Someone said his spine was in danger. I'm not sure he had that few in there, but the amount of damage that will do to the skin isn't slashes or even punctures. By the time they get out, they just had to rip it. It is a flesh wound, so I don't see it that badly, but it should have been on pay-per-view at least, probably. Yeah, you think? I still think the Mankind tooth and nose is grosser, and it was on WWE TV for years, but there's something to the placement of things. This should have been a pay-per-view spot, and he should have had more nails in it to not get stuck in it like he did. And he's like, there's no form or uniform to anything like this. It was always going to be a bad day. Whoever made it is a huge fuck up on that front. These usually should only be coming out of one side, and you have a ton of them. So again, he just breaks down the science. He's like, these nails weren't even secure, if that makes sense. So that made it even worse. And then he sent me a picture. Again, I don't want to pull it up because you guys will fucking see. But they had like the nails are in this leather that's like nailed into the fucking wood. So he's like, the nails are actually loose under that leather, dude. So it's moving around. It's even worse than it looked, is what this dude's saying. Okay. And this is a guy who, I'm just saying, okay, has fucking grappled with them. Okay. Been in there with some folks. Okay. Tagged with some folks. So, yeah, that was his analysis. Like, whoever did it was just a dumbass, although this isn't the worst thing. You know, he's like, whatever. I've seen worse. And, but yeah, just breaking down, I guess, the science of it from someone who's been in there, right? And yeah, I guess the leather thing I didn't even notice till he sent me like a zoom in pic with like an arrow pointing in. You guys can do that research there if you'd like to, but yeah, it's just grotesque, and hopefully he's okay. We would have heard something if he wasn't. I bet he's like, no, other stuff's been more painful, man. But that's not the point, you know? And it's weird that this is like a day after. Let's say he sold some Rizzler dolls or something, and then kids are tuning into this. That's the whole thing that I don't get. And you might say, there's been thumbtacks in WWE or cage matches in WWE. Yeah, but it's so, like, we just had Toni Storm look like she fell through 7 plate glass windows in a row, like laying there on their pay-per-view and stuff. It's like, well, that's the pay-per-view. Okay, then most of WWE's most hardcore shit has happened on pay-per-views, you know? So that's the problem. You got to figure out who you're catering to, what your goal is, who's in charge of quality control and shit. And yeah, I hope Buddy's analysis lets you all know how much worse this actually was than I think even a lot of us realize. But you can see, because he got fucking impaled. So yeah, definitely grotesque, and not for me. You know, and then to have him bulldog fucking choke Edge after again. Edge better be leaving that company, or else I just have no idea what the fuck they're doing. Because this is the end. Like, what else do you do? Like, what else do you do? Have a guy with a sword fucking chop a dude in half? Like, what else do you do from here? They've done fucking needles through chins, through cinder blocks, exploding barbed wire super boots to people's heads. And now they had a fucking, this looks like he was fighting an orc who fucking just hit him in the back. He was fighting a fucking troll who just sludged him. And he's like, oh, 'tis merely a flesh wound, you know? Like, what the fuck? What do they do next? Remove a limb? Like, I don't know, dude. It's it's so fucking stupid. And you know what they were trying to do, but they don't know what the fuck they're doing. So Brandon Thurston tweeted out that AEW has expected moves to file Ryan Nemeth's talent contracts under seal, citing irreparable harm to AEW's business if the terms of the contracts became accessible to competitors. Highlights added by me. Now, I quote tweeted this, and I was like, dude, the contracts will do irreparable harm if they get out there. Now, I'm laughing at the ridiculousness of that. Not at, like, we know it's in them. NDA City. We know that's in there. We know ridiculous amounts of money are in there. But it's funny that AEW says that because they're fucking, Tony Khan's worried. He's like, oh shit. You know, I'm going to look so stupid. It's going to reveal I was giving like Ryan Nemeth 6 figures. No offense, Ryan Nemeth. I'm not even a big, I mean, it's pretty whack what you know, this whole lawsuit thing, but hey, your brother's cool, you know? But either way, yeah, they just really don't want these contracts going public, which I'm sorry. I'm a fucking nosy Nelly. Like, I liked it when Hulk Hogan's you guys want to compare yourselves to WCW all the time? Okay. Hogan's contract got out there and it was fucking hilarious. So I want to see the same. I want to know what's in these things, dude, especially for a low-level guy. Fuck like a high-level guy. We already know it's just shit, creative control and all this stuff. A low-level guy. I want to see how ludicrous some of these like lower-level contracts get. That's what interests me more than anything. Like Punk, we already know. NDAs, maybe not even NDAs for him, but like, you know, some creative shit. We already know what's in all of those deals. What's in Monet's deal, you know? A bus, a change room, fucking all that stuff. I want to know the lower levels. Like, what the fuck is he paying? Like Jack Perry and below and shit. What are they getting? You know, that's what I'm interested in. Anywho, moving along. So Aubrey Edwards, man. Aubrey fucking Edwards. Just when you thought she didn't have a clue, she shows you that she's clueless. And this guy tweeted out, Matt D. He's like, guys, do me a favor and please do not turn this into an attack on Aubrey and Will. Well, whatever. We're going to laugh at them, dude. So if you consider that attacking, I don't. This is laughing. Their representation of the symptom, not the actual issue. I agree. That this is on an AEW podcast and said so matter-of-factly about hardcore fans made me think that there's a huge disconnect, however. There is a huge disconnect, right? So listen to what Aubrey says, and some people jump to her defense. And they're like, well, I'll get to that after, but let's listen to what Aubrey Edwards has to say here. I was baffled by this. I quote tweeted this and I was like, yeah. And I quoted what she said and was like, this place is fucked, bro. That place is cooked.
I was still not expecting a Spanish fly off the top of the cage. And that is a testament to both of those guys as wrestlers that, as a fan.
When you mean you weren't expecting the Spanish fly, like the 4 minutes it took them to set it up?
Watching wrestling as a hardcore wrestling fan watching this, the whole point of a steel cage is someone's going to jump off of it. I was still
Did you guys hear that one more time?
Expecting a Spanish fly off the top of the cage.
Julia Gulia, you know what to do.
And that is a testament to both.
The whole point of a steel cage is to matches. Someone's going to jump off it. Listen to what she says.
Of those guys as wrestlers that, as a fan watching wrestling, as a hardcore wrestling fan watching this, the whole point of a steel cage is someone's going to jump off of it. I was still not expecting.
Are you guys fucking kidding me? The whole point of a steel cage is someone's going to jump off it. And then some people defended her, and that's fine, but they're like, well, yeah, that's literally all I expect. Well, one, that's your problem, because I don't expect that. And that's why when some guys, if it's like Jeff Hardy, you're like, all right, he's jumping off the cage. But when Kurt Angle moonsaults off the cage, no one's expecting that. Benoit diving off it, okay, maybe. But people said it. They're like, ever since Snuka jumped off the cage, they expect it. And that's totally fine. And we can argue about that, but that's another discussion. Because that's not the whole point of a cage match. The whole point of the cage was because the Callis family kept running in and beating the shit out of Ospreay and turning their backs on him and shit, like Mark Davis flipping around his allegiance. So they had to keep them out, and it's a fucking blood feud. That is the point of a steel cage, okay? And you all know that in chat. It's not this other thing that she just made up or whatever. Now, if you're hoping for or expecting as a fucking fan, as a mark, that someone's going to jump off the cage, then do you. And that's cool, right? I expect certain people. Like I said, if Van Damme's in there, if like Rollins or someone's in there, I'm expecting such. Now with War Games, I'm expecting it as well. But it's also not the whole point of it. The whole point of the cage match is to keep people out and to keep the opponents from spilling out because they hate each other so much and they need to be contained. And or / both, or you need to keep people out, right? Or Vince McMahon has some dastardly ploy. But for her to just say, like, the whole point of a cage match is someone's jumping off it, it's like, fuck, dude, that's terrible. And the point that they so jumping off the cage and the spiked bat, that's what I mean. They didn't tell a good cage match story. They're like licking the cage. It was so, to me, that match was the one I was looking the most forward to on Revolution, and it was the one that under-delivered for me personally. But yeah, goddamn, somebody, I'm gonna like and retweet that, Julia Gulia. You find me that sound clip, okay? So here is the replies. You got Triple H's thought tweets out. Read the replies. So AEW on TV. They post a clip of this. We'll leave it small. This is Ospreay versus AR Fox. Okay, I'm going to leave it small, turn the volume down so we don't get Don Stevens.
Behind Ospreay. Nice switch, though.
Right? So just watch what they're doing, chat. Let me know if you're into this. He's like, nope, cutter. And then he's like, nope, handstand. And then he's like waiting for him, takedown, double kip up, stand in each other's faces. I don't know. They're even, pal. So the responses to this, though, Dio, do any of you have any self-awareness? The replies are full of people mocking the choreographed garbage. This guy says these choreographed dances are so funny. Steven says, do they do this every time? Die Tryon says, I'm sorry, I do like Will, I really do, but if you've seen one of his matches, you've seen every match. Exactly. He's stagnant in AEW, zero growth of his character. The Swerve Show says the tarps retain the heat. Holiday Mavcop says Disco Inferno versus Billy Kidman on Nitro 2000. That's not bad. He fought, yeah, whatever. Disco's had some like matches for what they were supposed to be. He's never supposed to be like, if Ricochet thinks he's any better than Disco because he does flips and shit, I'm sorry, but you guys are like the same level. You're both like mid-lower guys, in everyone's eyes. I'm sorry. Why are job guys competitive with the top babyface? This is dancing, not wrestling. This is an absolute joke. AEW fans will fucking cheer anything. However, there are less and less of them with every show. Corny. So there's no way, there's not even one person being like, oh man, not even one wrestler jumps to the defense of this. The High and Mighty. I wasn't going to leave this page until I found one positive comment. 2 hours later of scrolling, not one positive comment. What was the John Cena chant? Same old shit, same old shit. Exactly, guys. I say it all the time here at PWT. Dancing, bruv. Imagine sitting in the back watching this with the proper wrestler from in the past like Ernie Ladd. Oh, yes, the everyone clap spot. Exactly. Now it's the you old clap now, bruv. We fell down, we got back up. You clap now, bruv. That's what the fuck it's become. Anyways, I'm not gonna. Someone says we need to see more AR Fox. There you go. Something positive, I guess. Moving along. Saraya reveals her wrestling career is ending very soon. So she just recently signed a new 1 year. I think she goes back to WWE as on a Legends likeness role or something. Or maybe Tony keeps her around just 1 year deals and she keeps getting richer. That's cool. But yeah, she said in an interview, she's like, I'm putting girls over like crazy. She's like, I'm just putting everyone over, and so good for her, and they should book her more. It's crazy, Saray. I don't know what's going on with her, though. I don't want to say anything. And then she's like, well, I was injured again or so. I don't fucking know. But her career's coming to an end. Unfortunate because she's young as shit, but she'll always have a place as like a WWE Hall of Famer. And if they do that Women's Evolution show or whatever, she could host it or do commentary or fucking cut a promo, or she could be the GM of the all-women's WWE show on Roku or something. Who knows? So here's David LaGreca giving his take on the Jon Moxley spot, which is cool, yeah. But LaGreca's just doing this. He always just does this for, he knows. And I like Busted Open, so I'm not even hating, but he's working the gimmick, brother. But yeah, the outrage comes from what I explained, dude. Like, okay, is the Rizzler there with Big Boom AJ, or is Jon Moxley going to be the watermelon in the be a test dummy for some fucking magic trick gone terribly wrong? Like, what is it? It's not like anyone's shocked that they're willing to go this far. No one's shocked at Moxley's stupidity, but at what point and then, like, here's the other problem too, and this is just to nitpick it too. After he takes that bump, they get it out of his back. All the goons beat up Edge, and then Edge spears him through the table. And then you see Moxley like barely selling, because I'm assuming he's in pain. And he's like looking around, and he's just going, and he's just like looking around and like barely, I don't even know. I don't know what to expect from him anymore. Something happened where like he just does not give a fuck anymore. But anyways, yeah, here's Nemeth staying hydrated there. And here's fucking LaGreca freaking out.
Jon Moxley's not going to do something that he does not want to do.
Right. Guys, run the likes up as well. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. And if you like hearing my rants about pro wrestling and my analysis of shit, and you want to hear me mark out about pop culture and stuff, check out Phil Marks Out on YouTube as well. I have tons of good content coming there. It's all edited and scripted stuff, and I'm doing a roundtable with Husey about M. Night Shyamalan as well. But yeah, let's get back into this.
Moxley was
shout out LaGreca, Nemeth, and Busted Open and Serious.
Fine with doing that, and I don't understand wrestling fans now, and that are all of a sudden like throwing their arms in the air and their hands in the air saying, like, this is too much. This is too violent. This is too bloody. Like, if you don't like it, don't watch. Nobody's forcing you to watch this. AEW is a completely different product. And listen, if you think it's disgusting and it's just not your thing, then guess what? You have a choice.
Okay, LaGreca, what about when they see how the product's been and how Moxley hasn't bladed the last like 30 matches, right? And then they dropped the Rizzler doll and they got the Rizzler and Big Boom AJ's tweeting out and talking about AEW and these kids who are boom, boom, boom and on fucking their podcasts and stuff. Right. And then this kid's like, oh, I'll check out AEW. And then they see that with their parent. Then they didn't have a choice a little bit. They chose to tune in to maybe see the Rizzler. And then they saw Moxley do that. That's where it's like they need an identity. Are they the adult alternative? Then I'm going to clown the Rizzler for being there. You know, because I don't even clown the Rizzler. I'm not like these other motherfuckers who just clown it to clown it. I get when I show speed. I don't know who the fuck I show speed is. Kai Sanat or whatever. I fucking watch them and they're on the show and I go, okay, do they fuck this segment up or not? And I get it. Kids like these people. So with the Rizzler and that, you have to pick and choose your battles, right? And you might go, oh, come on now. Conrad Thompson might say, oh, come on now, Phil. That's not very fair, Eric, to say that a healthy AEW. They don't do it all the time, Eric. Well, the problem is that they do. We just saw the horror show Massacre, the Hollywood ending from the brilliant Toni Storm. And she looked like the movie Carrie, like just at the pay-per-view, man. So we have to pick and choose. It's like my guy said, right? Who analyzed the Moxley spike bump. He said it. This should have been on the pay-per-view, if anywhere. But then I had to explain to him after, well, they did all this Toni Storm shit on the pay-per-view. So then he's like, well, that's much. And it's like, yeah. Anyways, let's listen to LaGreca melting down semi-disingenuous. I like busted open.
You can turn it off. You don't have to watch it. But you know what? I have no problem with my pro wrestling being violent. I have no problem with my pro wrestling being bloody. And I just don't understand why now everybody's like, oh my God, Tony Khan. Oh my God. The sponsors are that's Tony Khan and AEW's problem. If why is all of a sudden
because if those things get affected, then they're not on TV. WBD is in shambles right now. Okay. Period, point blank. We're going to talk about it a little bit tonight. And if you are a fan of AEW and you see that and you're like, oh shit, I want this show to stay on TV. Like myself personally. Oh, isn't it great? Well, the wrestlers get jobs. Oh, come on now, Eric. That's not very fair. The wrestlers get jobs when there's a healthy AEW. And you know something else, Eric? I'm here for it. Chat me up about what you think about the Jon Moxley spike bat botch. Like, what the fuck, man? The fan people want jobs, right? So, okay, let's try and keep people jobs. Like, what if his head exploded? Like the watermelon, you know? Oh, you're being dramatic. That wouldn't happen. I don't know, dude. Chris Bay just talked about how he did some shit he does every night, and it just went awry. Moxley's doing shit. This is innovative, man. What a tough guy. I think O'Shea Jackson Jr. shout him out, by the way, but he tweeted out like, yo, for real though, Moxley's tough. It's like, yeah, they do that in MMA too. Like, oh man, this guy's tough. It's like, yeah, everyone's tough, bro. Every wrestler's tough. They're bumping all fucking day. Like that doesn't give you. Yeah, we know Moxley's a dumbass who's like, you know, will maybe tougher than the next guy when you cut him with things. You know, like that doesn't. You know, it doesn't make it over. Sorry, let's hear LaGreca meltdown. I've gone off on this enough.
Worried about what Warner Brothers think or what the sponsors are gonna think. Go fuck. Come on, give me a break. So you don't like it? You don't like it? Wrestling police? Then fucking turn it off and don't watch.
This is the same guy who fake cried when Cody Rhodes got worked out of his fucking wrestling match. You know what I'm saying? This is the same guy who's like, fucking this show. And then he just don't watch it. Meanwhile, this guy's having a fucking meltdown. He doesn't actually believe this shit. He's just cutting promos. That's why I like LaGreca. He's just working the gimmick.
But don't make that like now all of a sudden people complain when AEW brings in former WWE wrestlers and they call it quote unquote WWE light. But now they want the product to be just like the
No, they don't. No, they don't, David. Right? No, they don't. Not taking a back body drop suplex onto a spiked bat is not that's not like being like WWE. Do you guys understand this? Let me repeat that because it sounds fucking dumb. We even have to say this shit. Okay. And I know how dumb it even sounds, but not taking a suplex onto a spike bat doesn't mean you're being like WWE just because you don't do that. Do you guys get what I'm saying? So Greg is just, I don't know. I think he just did this because he know we'd all talk about it after.
WWE.
Right.
Like, yeah, you know, like you, like I think
Nemeth's sitting there. He's like, what a fucking dumbass.
I think there's people that just want to complain for the sake of complaining.
He's like, I was up all night fucking a corn star last night. He's like, blah, blah, blah.
Jon Moxley's not going to do something.
Yeah, whatever you say, Dave. Anyways, so Saraya says, I said corn, YouTube. She said, I'm letting people beat me left, right, and center. I was on a losing streak, but I just wanted people to get their rub. I want to uplift everybody. That terrible accent. I'm not going to be in wrestling forever. I'm coming to the end of it, and it's very soon. And I don't want to go out being like, I need to be on top. Yeah, well, that's how the business should go. You know what I mean? So good on her. Here is, this is Awful Wrestling's analysis. So they lost to NXT, I guess, which we'll look at the numbers. But yeah, here's Awful's little edit here. 7 seconds.
Oh my God, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, it is really a fucking clown show. So I quote tweeted this here and I said, wanted smoke till the smoke came. Because if you guys remember, Tony Khan used to talk a lot of shit. And I see you, chat. I'm getting a chat in a minute, okay? Just let me get through some of this. Tony Khan.
Tony Khan.
He used to talk mad shit, and this is back in the day. He goes, thank you, great fans who made AEW Dynamite Winter is Coming a huge success for AEW and TNT drama. We got our best demo rating of 2020. Plus, and their demo's sinking, man. They were doing like 0.10s, dude. And in Dave, I don't give a fuck. I think the shit's dumb, but Dave and Tony wanted to play this game. Here's a reminder. Okay? What's that from? Here's a reminder. Check your shirt. It probably says made in China. What's that from? That's like Malibu's Most Wanted or Scary Movie 3 or some shit. Anyways, though, Tony Khan says, we got our best demo rating of 2020. A new AEW champion, Kenny Omega. An indelible memory with Sting's arrival. I like that. Indelible. That's a word I like to use as well. Won the night. AEW 913K. And then post the key demo. And then fucking NXT 658K post the key demo. Now the shoe's on the other foot, right? And remember, Tony Khan took our guy, Alfred Konuwa. That's my guy. He took his quotes from Forbes being like, Dynamite smashes NXT in the competition. And then he like aired that shit in commercials, that quote, like during NXT and Smackdown shows and all that during WWE stuff. And it was all good then. But then as soon as the shoe's on the other foot, the key demo posts are gone. The rating posts are gone. Tony Khan talks shit about Undertaker and Cena not joining a million like a fucking moron. And then now what? Now these shits aren't, he's not posting this. He's not talking about the demo rating, right? Because the demo's going down. And luckily, Tony hasn't had any meltdown. It's been like a year and a half now. I've been like, ooh, that Tony meltdown's coming. Didn't happen. And that's fine, you know. But yeah, it's looking bleak, as Meltzer wouldn't say, which we'll cover in a bit. So this was posted here. Superman box office pressure rises as expert says DC has to save Warner Bros. What does Phil tell? Phil don't miss. So that's why you tune into PWT, because I'm the fucking GOAT.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
But for real though, like No, I'm just talking shit. I got to put myself over here. But listen, I've been beating this drum for like a year and some. I'm a poet and didn't know it. Oh, but yeah, dude, I've been telling you guys what. What does Phil tell you, chat? Write it in the chat. If we want to see WBD in general survive, they're banking on this Superman movie so hard. People are like, AEW's fine. Warner Bros. Are fucking desperate. They just sold that John Cena Acme movie, Coyote Acme movie, to the company that released some other Looney Tunes movie nobody fucking heard of, like the rights to distribute it or whatever. They're desperate right now, and they need this to work for them, or else they're fucked. And I'm telling you, man, comic books, movies, everything with Warner is not doing well. So they need this to work. They're banking on this so badly, and this whole DCU revival thing. And if it doesn't work, man, yes, Tony Khan might have to start his own fucking network or something. Like, don't be shocked. This is the TV business, man. And when they say shit like this, fucking Husey messaged me. He's like, I'm more convinced than ever that like the Khans are funding this and putting their own money into this. Otherwise, how would Warner Brothers... If you guys just look into Warner Brothers news, Phil Marks out. That's my other channel. And I'm going to talk about all this shit. And you guys are going to fucking see. Okay. And I've been talking about it on this show, but allegedly, trust me. Okay. They're riding on this big time. And I've been saying it before the fucking news guys are going to say it. Anyways. So Ryan Nemeth's contract, we talked about this earlier. They want to keep his contract sealed. They argued, here's a little more context. So they argued that making the terms public would cause irreparable harm to their business by exposing them to competitors. Like WWE's going to match your dumb fucking deals. You know? In addition, AEW has requested that a federal court in Florida rule that Nemeth's lawsuit in California Superior Court be moved to arbitration. Nemeth's lawsuit includes claims of breach of contract, intentional interference, and allegation that Phil Brooks assaulted him, among other accusations. So, again, dude, everyone's on CM Punk's nuts, dude. Right? He can't catch a break. They're just all suing him constantly. Like, fuck, man. Clown world. Here, let me check in with chat. Sorry. No people have been waiting. Sorry. Miss October 30 says, I can't understand Moxley doing so much dumb shit. I was a Dean Ambrose fan. Right. And Miss October 30, what you're seeing is like, remember when Brock Lesnar wouldn't wrestle him the way he wanted to at that match? And he's like, fuck this. Now, you know, at the time, we're all blaming Brock and we're all like, oh, why is Brock so crusty? Oh, he just goes into business for himself and he just does what he wants, carte blanche, da-da-da. But no, looking back, you're like, oh, it makes so much sense. And also with the whole Ambrose character and Moxley's being disgruntled, like the way when he left, he's like, oh, I just couldn't be myself and or whatever, right? He's like, they wanted to be me to be this wacky guy. Like they had it, I'm this wacky guy. And then you realize like Vince did have genius in him and he knew like, dude, if I don't reel this guy in, he's not going to get over. This Moxley guy with pink hair and trunks, he's not going to get over unless I reel this guy in and make him Dean Ambrose and tell him, no, you're like wacky. You're not this crazy, or otherwise he's going to do shit like this. Right. So fuck Vince in the ear. But at the same time, he's like, well, I like that, pal. No, but at the same time, it's like he did know what he was doing with a lot of these cats, man. And that's further proof of it. Rabid Wolverines LC Killer 17 says somebody will die in this company. If it happened, wouldn't be shocked, you know, wouldn't be shocked if it happened one day. That could happen in any company though. And that's what will happen when that happens. People will go, well, Owen died in WWE. And that's where I'm going to just like, that'll be too sicko even for a sicko segment, maybe. Right. That's like a special run in or something to just get it out of the way. Cause it's like, I don't even want to see the IWC when that day comes, how gross people are going to be about it, you know? Because like we don't want that to happen, right? Moving along here. David K says AEW's Kirk Van Houten from The Simpsons trying to borrow a feeling. What is it with the connection with wrestling and Simpsons, David K? You know, it's so interlocked. They've always been down too, even though I guess Bret Hart and Cena are the only two. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Miss October 30 says it is scary how we genuinely believe someone will die in AEW. That's what I'm saying, man. Yeah, just to add on to the convo, that's what I'm saying too. Like, it's unfortunate we have to have this, but again, some people be like, you're just being pussies, but really, no, man. And especially too, when because listen, the person who DM me is someone who fucking will stick up for deathmatch stuff a lot. Like, they were giving them the benefit of the doubt too, but they were like, it was set up shitty, so I'm just saying, like, and this guy's teamed with people you see on NXT like every week, so back in the day, you know what I mean? So this guy knows what he's talking about a little bit. So yeah, hopefully that added some context too, but it is not a good feeling to think that, Jimmy B has been a member for 12 fucking months. It's crazy to think we've even been doing this shit that long. Round of applause for super chatters and members and everyone in chat. You're all goated. You're all goated. You're all goated here. And let's continue with some AEW news, okay? Because you know what they say, chat. You know what they say.
Sometimes in life, you got to be a hoe.
So Bryan Danielson reveals he has not signed a new AEW contract, but he's there hyping up All In, Texas and all this stuff. This is the thing, right? Everyone who thinks like these people are ride or die for AEW, they're fucking not. Not even Moxley. Moxley was walking around their belt without a contract. He would never do that to a company in the 2000s. You would never do that unless you're like, this is cool to do. I swear to God, who would even do that? He came from WWE. You don't do that. I'm drinking a 7.2% hoppy India Pale Ale here. Amazing stuff. Anyways, in Minecraft. Anyways, though, a lot of these guys, man, they will go to WWE. You're going to see Jericho do it again, try and go back there after all that shitty talk. Sting, if he pops up. And we covered that whole Sting debacle on the last show. Again, oh, come on now. Conrad Thompson wants to make it about everything except for the wrestlers, but then we'll argue about a healthy wrestling business, Eric. And even though he sells you Blue Chews, it takes all the blood goes down there from the Blue Chews, Eric. Oh, come on now, Phil. That's not very fair to say that I take my own product like that. But I'm here for Lex Luger being inducted by Diamond Dallas Page, but not for Sting, Phil Marks. Here's the problem, too. It's not about you, Marks. It's not about Phil Marks. It's not about Phil Brooks. It's about fucking Lex Luger. That's who it's about, okay? Oh, well, WWE didn't let him. Okay, so two wrongs make a right, like be petty like them. What's the point? All it does is you just say, okay, Sting gets to wear his AEW shirt. And then they either say no or yes. That's how you treat it. Actually, we have someone who fantasy mark books a great swap right here as we're talking about it. And I quote tweeted this and cracked the joke. I was like, I'm sure Conrad Thompson would say, he's here for it, Eric. I'm here for it, Eric. I'm here for Jerry the King Lawler coming in with JR. Why don't they do that swap? Sting can induct Luger. I love this from Wrestling News Co. And they take a lot of fucking L's, man. I roast them a lot, but I like this idea. Sting inducts Luger. Jerry the King Lawler gets to do commentary with Jim Ross for one match in an AEW Dynamite or something like that. Why not? That's a good trade-off. No? Chat, let me know what you think. Speaking of over like Rover, I mean, we might get Don Stevens. We know Drain Damager won't because they are Don Stevens more than likely, but I'm teasing, of course. But just listen to Toni Storm, her brilliance. Here's a minute plus of Toni Storm being brilliant on commentary during the Megan Baines Statlander match and just in general. And I quote tweeted this and said, Toni Storm and Harley Cameron are worth watching W for. If not for anything, chat, we have to support them, okay? I know we get fed up with some of this shit, but, Tony's stock has risen since going to AEW in my mind. Judas only in my mind, and Judas in my mind. Yeah. Is Jericho coming back? Did we get to the 100 likes on the Clip channel, George? Or is Wayne Brady going to have to choke a bitch? Where are we on that? Oh yeah, okay, we crushed it. Thank you guys. Chat's goated. There's like over 400. We got like 500 people watching the show tonight. Actually, let me check. Like about 480 to 500. It's fluctuating. You guys are goated. Here we go. Tony Storm doing hilarious commentary, like talks about a Hollywood ending and Shivani, but he had to pay $45 for the pleasure. Listen to this shit, man.
Miss Storm would love to congratulate you on the Hollywood ending, the big victory at Revolution 10 nights ago.
Yes, thank you. I also heard Mr. Javan had a Hollywood ending, but he had to pay $45 for the for the pleasure, you know.
Oh, that is savage, dude. That's savage.
Now that we're off air,
Okay.
finally tell you, Mr. Shavan, I was very pleasantly surprised to see your name pop up in the JFK files.
In the JFK files. How big of a botch? You want to talk about botch? How big of a botch was the JFK files? Oh, so just everything we knew. So the CIA and the mob, cool. We already knew that.
Yes, I was 3 years old. I
Realized she has some lovely, big, juicy muscles. Where does she live? A Greek restaurant? If she's
Great
the
place
Megasis, then I'm the Stormodo dragon. Same tongue and the dry skin.
Come on. Oh, you're saying.
Stormodo, darling.
I'm sorry.
I'd love to know what she's the goddess of. Not speaking, perhaps? Very quiet woman. The thighs on both of these women, they have to have squished a few melons, I'm sure. Those legs are for crushing watermelons.
Okay.
I'm not afraid of anyone named Bane. I get my back broken every night of the week.
Oh my God. I'm not afraid of anyone named Bane. I get my back broken every night.
You what?
Whoa! Holy.
Ooh! Gotta get thrown out. We'll see you later, Penelope Ford.
Goodbye, sugar tits.
My God, you're a big bitch.
My God, you're a big bitch. Like, that's the thing. If I called Megan Bain a big bitch, you get canceled, right? But for real. But it's funny because she says that shit like, oh, sugar tits and stuff. And just that. It's like she's from a different era.
Would love to congratulate you.
She just works it so fucking well, man. Tony Storm is just an absolute treasure. So here's the other discourse that everybody's been having. 285 episodes of Dynamite and 288 episodes of Nitro. And so Dynamite's about to surpass Nitro. Out of nowhere, Eric Bischoff's like, I think I'm not talking about wrestling anymore. I don't know if the two are related. However, I will say that this doesn't fucking matter. Like, Ring of Honor and Impact Wrestling have had more episodes than Dynamite or Nitro, or so, like, who cares? But this is the problem, is that Tony Khan is so dead set on beating old companies and dead, tired-ass companies that are dead.
The best
in the
guys,
grave.
Tony Khan.
And that's why he's never going to... You never gonna get it, because I'm too smooth. You never gonna get it. I thought you knew, but you ain't got a clue. You guys know that song? I feel like that's... Yeah, he's just never gonna get it, dude. I don't know how else to put it. Like... Why are they so hyper fixated on this? Why are the sickos? And you do see a bunch of sickos celebrating this. Now, I didn't bookmark them all because it's a dumb thing, but it's crazy how Bischoff was like, I'm not going to talk about wrestling, and this is about to happen. It sort of lends validity, maybe not validity, but some credence to what these cretins are saying about Bischoff. Like, he's just jealous and mad or whatever. And when they surpass Dynamite, they're cooked and all this shit. You know, that I don't know. The timing's definitely weird. We live in a fun timeline. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Let me know in chat what you guys think about this. Is Bischoff bailing out because they're about to surpass Nitro? I just don't even think, like, it is a pat on the back accolade, but you didn't put up one rating even close, right? You may have drawn some houses similarly, like close. But if we look at like merchandise sales, even like if you look at any stack any of the metrics, oh, we had more episodes. Okay, well then TNA had more episodes than you, right? Like, then they're better than you by that logic. That's not even like a real thing. It's not even like a real criticism. Y'all get what I'm saying? So moving along here. Adam Devine says AEW Revolution was insane, brah, and even better than WWE. So let's head over to Ringside News. And let's read the quote here. The Workaholic Star was on the This Is Important podcast and said, I don't know what an insane event. Those guys throwing a real banger. It feels just as insane. In fact, I like it more than WWE events. It's like the WCW in the late 90s. So yeah, you're new to it, bro. Like Adam Devine didn't know what the fuck it was. He gets invited to do this. And that's the vibe everyone gets at first. Oh, it's like WCW. Anything can happen. And then you see a guy get impaled and you're like, whoa, I don't know if that's the anything that I want to happen. You know? So he's like, they were putting thumbtacks all over the ring from the very top of the cage. They were backflipping guys on the thumbtacks. Insane. Then you go to the back. There were real thumbtacks. He's picking them out of them. So maybe this sicko. Whoa, Adam Devine's sicko segment. He's a real fucking sicko, this guy. Why don't you sing about it? Fucking pitch. No. One of the most surprising parts, I didn't think I would have a thirst for it, but now I do. Cool. Well, good for him, man. If he gets into wrestling because of this, awesome. And he was into the bloodbath, so he's a fucking real sicko, this guy. Anna Kendrick. Look out. Do they still make those movies? No, I tapped out after like 2. That 15. So listen to this here. The quarter hour ratings for Dynamite. We'll get into it a little bit more, but they lost. Well, I guess we're into it right now. They lost to NXT. Okay. And Raj Giri breaks it down. There was a 15% drop from the Mox match to Ospreay, and that has to be concerning. You'd expect a drop regardless. Why didn't it go on last? But that much for the guys that's supposed to be your next big star is concerning, and I don't blame Ospreay at all. He just hasn't had a single good storyline yet. Raj, I'll pump the brakes and drive slow, homie. I think he did have, like, him and Fletcher, the story wasn't, like, terrible. Some of the fucking, like, Mark Davis, I'm a heel now, and then I'm just a bad guy next week. Like, that was fucking dumb and terrible. Same with Takeshita kind of being a floater. But they weren't really, like, they kept jumping Ospreay, and that was dumb. But that's not enough to, because, I don't know, they did throw down in that tournament, no? And then, I mean, it's just their friendship is at the and then the cage. I mean, that was the next step. I was really looking forward to that match. I felt like it underdelivered personally, not to just make it about the match again, but that's just my feelings on it. And I got to reiterate that. And then the story, I don't know, was it good? Yeah, I'd say it's good. You know, it was a perfectly acceptable, like, here's like a light feud for him to have with his brother, former brother, that he's going to end up wrestling 100 more times. Were some of the beats stupid? Yeah, for sure. That's all of AEW. But yeah, the story's okay, I guess. His storytelling in the matches, again, I'm always calling this shit out. Before he came in AEW, I said, dude, I reviewed his TNA match with Mike Bailey, and I was like, man, you know, Ospreay's awesome, and I like this match a lot, but he's got to fucking stop eating everyone's finish and then giving everyone his finish, because then none of the finishes mean anything. You got to hit 12 fucking finishes. Now you fast forward. Exactly. I was like, dude, it's the same thing every time. Fast forward, everyone's saying it. Same old shit. Cookie cutter. Oh, he does 12 flip. It's the same shit every time. Kicks out of 9 finishes. He said he's never going to do the Tiger Driver. He does the Tiger Driver every fucking 3 matches. So yeah, I get that aspect. Like, his story in AEW's been shit, but him versus Fletcher, like, that story, I mean, that makes sense. It wasn't dreadful or anything, and I'd say good is how you'd grade that. And maybe you guys are like, oh, come on now, Phil. But yeah, there is a drop, and of course there was gonna be people like, who even did anyone flip channels? Chat, were you watching March Madness and flipped over to AEW? Tell me right now. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was AEW news.
I don't know.
Sometimes in life, you got to be a hoe.
Round of applause for me and you. For getting through that, okay? We have Dave Meltzer. We have sickos to get to, okay? And yeah, I'm 3 beers deep. So we're doing the damn thing. How are you all doing, chat? I hope you're good. I'm going to check in with you in just a moment. We just Adam Devine. That should have been in the sicko segment, for Christ's sake, which we're going to do next. We're going to plow through these because they are piling up again, but not terribly bad. Trust me. This isn't like the worst shit ever. But we'll just fire through like half of these or something. Okay. So how you doing, chat? I'm going to check in with you all. JWT6577 says you'd never run around with a contract unless you knew you weren't going back or weren't welcome back. I disagree because Moxley fucking went back, but he tried to get in the Rumble. Like, it's such an old story from years ago. The guy who brought it up, Billy Butty, he's been like ostracized and he's just gone. He has like a paywall show with his kid now, and he's just like gone from fucking the IWC entirely. But there was a while there where he was fucking batting 1,000. He was insane. He had like the whole WrestleMania. He knew what it was before like anyone, like down to fucking, he knew Vince and McAfee, what they were all going to do. But I think Sean Ross Sapp tried to fight him one time, like on video. It's like funny. Look that shit up. But he said it at that time, man. He's like, Mox and them were trying to get into fucking back to WWE. Like, they don't even, Mox would have left in a heartbeat and gone back to the Rumble. And like Jericho tried to go into the Rumble, like as an AEW guy, So I don't know, like Body could have been wrong then, but he was like around that time, he was saying that shit. And then eventually I just feel like he sort of fell off with his sources and shit. And I don't even know. Yeah. I think he has like a paywall show with his kid or something now. I'm not even kidding. But he said that a long time ago. So I don't know, man. If Danielson, I think he's a loyal enough, a handshake guy. Yeah, I'll come back for you, Tony. I think, but Bree's talking about, it wouldn't be right if the Bellas weren't together in WWE. So, and it's different now. Vince is gone. It's Triple H. So you got to think Daniels is like, well, and he didn't even hate Vince. But Tony Khan's also said, you got to weigh it out, because Tony Khan's also said, well, I'll give him the company. Him and Jimmy Jacobs. And then Jimmy Jacobs leaves. Oh, I'm just burnt out from working. He goes and starts working with Scott D'Amore immediately on Maple Leaf Pro. Let me check out with chat. Probably the same for me. NYC will have more viewers. Moxley would be in this triple threat at WrestleMania with Roman and Seth. Exactly. He fucked it all up. He fucked his whole own shit up. AEW tonight is going to Split Collision 1 hour episode set. That's why I'm not watching it. That's why I went early. I was like, fuck it. Anyone ever F's with Mike? You're effing with me. Who's Mike? What's going on? Is everyone cool? Pete rocks. We need the Bucks back. Why is everyone jumping to Mike's back? I hope you're all good, dude. Nope. I switch off TNT as early as not to help inflate their numbers. Yes, I flipped the channels. DJ Evo, how dare you say I watched that shit? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That shit's funny. Train of thought and keeps them away. Okay, I'm just trying to find Mike, but it's all good. I'm so sorry. We love you though, Mike. What's up? I don't even know what happened. Ray J's World says, thanks to WWE, NXT, Evolve, and ID, I'm starting to watch the indies more. Boom. Boom. That's exactly it. Anyone mad at it? Guys, if you haven't, I did. You guys know Big Trouble Ben Bishop. He's always making fun of Marks in the IWC. I did an interview with him. So I talked about WWE ID with my friend Ash. Okay, Ashley V. PWT fucking member, universe member in our Discord and all that. And from a fan's perspective, we talked about everybody shitting on GCW and the WWE ID program. And then we had Big Trouble Ben Bishop, who hasn't been ID'd, but he just worked Nick Nemeth. He came on. We had a fun interview, and he talked about why it's a good thing. And he pretty much laughed at Meltzer and all of that. And yeah, go and give that a look. Yeah, and LFG is the place for the NIL to go and build their personalities by being on a reality TV show. And then the indies, they're just able to go figure out how to work WWE pace with the cameras and all of that, with the indie guys, with the ID program through Evolve. So NIL can go through LFG and learn how to be dramatic and do television. And then in one way, because they're just like athletes, and then the other folks are learning, like, okay, they're already developing characters on the indies, have them learn how to work WWE style over and Evolve and just elevate them and shit. Perfect. They got it brilliant. Again, AEW could have been the ones to do this with ROH. They could have been the ones to be like, we're announcing a partner program. The indies that partner with us, that's what our ROH will consist of primarily. You'll get a chance to work with Punk and Athena and all these people, and we will do like a show, like an internet show where we help, get this young talent over. So, that could have been them again. But another missed opportunity. Okay, moving along. Let's get into who. Okay, let me drink some beer here first. Chat, keep talking to me, chat. Keep talking to me because we got a sicko segment. You guys know this one. This is fun. Some sickos. Nothing gets too serious here, but there is some silly shit, some silly goose time we got to get to. Pardon me. Guys, hear me die. Crap. We're getting lit tonight. House to myself. So we got to do the damn thing. And I'm gonna go out. Actually, I think I'm gonna go get some food. Do something. Your boy streaming and dropping videos for you guys. I gotta go do something like something fun, something inspiring. But either way, let's head over to the sicko tab for a sicko segment. So Wrestle Talk, y'all stealing jokes now too. And on Wrestle Talk episode, Shock Rock and John Cena plans for March 14, one of the hosts used Hollywood balds. So Wrestle Talk listens to PWT. Confirmed. Moving along here. There's stuff just still, it's a graveyard. So I quote tweeted this, or I took a screen grab of this, or I saw a screen grab. But yeah, because mine's in dark mode. I like dark mode on everything. So I saved this from someone else or something. And I wrote, these marks hate wrestling and want to watch it die. You don't get to tell wrestlers that what wrestling is, clown. And so I forget who they were talking to. Was this our guy, Jose, the assistant they were talking to? I can't remember, but this person's like, that kind of remark I'd expect from a WWE fan, not from someone who is supposed to get what wrestling is. And this guy's like, any wrestler with good in-ring skills has a good storytelling. And then this person's like, storytelling is primarily should be done in the ring. So absolutely. And then this person's like, do people with this mentality know why the ring is there? And then look, whoever's screen grab, this might have been me, but they're blocked from all these people. They can't even respond. So how can anybody challenge this is the bubble paradox, a term coined on PWT. Okay? Like, you live in a fucking bubble. You're not even going to understand other perspectives. Right? And that's where you think what you're saying is correct when it's not. It's the craziest way to live. So I got tagged in this. Looks like that Titan J sicko is back. So if you guys haven't yet, I dropped a video called The Tragic Case of Titan J. And it's about a wrestler who faked his own death. It's one of the greatest, my favorite sicko segment that I've ever done. Where, he faked his own death and his WWE tryouts and all this shit. And then he got tied up with all these sickos in the IWC. And it actually got fucking cringe, though, because of this. Because this guy tags me in it. Titan J backups here. And then this guy's like, I'm not doing this for clout. He's tagging Sap. And then you look over here, Sap's over here. Let's fucking go. Like, they're going to get this guy. And then I quote tweeted this. I was like, now it's cringe, right? Like, it was funny. It was funny. Now it's fucking cringe, right? So whatever. It is what it is. Just an update on Titan J. I guess guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? So Andrew Baydala just can't help himself. And he tweets this out about Money in the Bank. He goes, here's more potential PLE location news for those wondering about the date and location for WWE Money in the Bank 2025. Intuit Dome LA. I am waiting for final confirmation. Like, anyone in WWE fucking is going to tell you anything, bro. And then Baydala goes to further elaborate, since some on this app share one singular brain cell. This fucking guy, man. For him to say this shit. Chad, this is why he's on the list. You understand?
You just made the list.
And it's not a real list, folks. It's like a mental thing. But Yeah, he's one of my fools. Absolutely. So Baydala says the confirm I was waiting on won't come from a WWE post, etc. I work in ticketing marketing, and the venue confirmed this to me late yesterday. It seems as it's full go for Money in the Bank in LA. I mean, he's probably right, but yeah, I don't know. Oh, he's interjecting himself. Also, we have Janela versus fucking JD part 3, I think round 3. We're gonna get to that as well. Okay, so you guys see this folder is filled with junk. It's the junk folder, right? The trash. So yeah, Baydala, I don't know. You're a fool. So this guy's like, fuck the entertainment, fuck the soap operas, fuck the gimmick, fuck the casuals, let the wrestling speak for itself. The best part about wrestling is the wrestling. Empower those who are great at it and platform them correctly. So that guy's awesome. Randy Orton's went full fucking sicko mode. Yeah, hit him with the sicko mode.
You
right?
what?
Orton went full fucking sicko mode here, dude. He responds. So this girl Brea goes, bro is not getting my number. And this guy too, man. Spitting game here. He goes, I'd arm wrestle a bear for your number. Then he goes, I'd fight 09 Randy Orton for your number. That's game, dude. Ladies in the chat can tell us, but come on now. 09 Orton savage, bro. And nobody wants to fucking smoke 09 Orton, dude. Okay. And then Orton goes, bro, willing to risk it all for you, bro. This shit 31,737,000 likes. Come on now, dude. Orton's such a goat. The Virtuosa has to respond to a sicko. Right? Who responds? So check this. The Virtuosa goes, my president. This is Deonna Purrazzo. AEW's Deonna Purrazzo goes, my president is the best dressed president. And then this guy, Hello B Mike, says, Tony Khan, why is your talent associated with the competition? Didn't Phoenix, Penta, or Ricky thought you anything? Didn't they thought you anything?
Shut up, bitch.
What the fuck?
Stupid idiot.
Read a book. Should she be fired immediately for contract tampering? Contract tampering. Whoa. Whoa. These people are nutty. So Chelsea Green goes, to wish that on someone is disgusting. But I'm gathering you've never had a job to be fired from. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. So you wouldn't get it. Tell your mom we say hello. Yo. When she brings you your dinner in the basement. Oh my God. Chelsea Green said,
shut up, bitch.
Oh my God. She just smashed his leg.
Smashed your knee to oblivion.
Smashed his knee to oblivion. Oh my goodness. I love that shit. And then Purrazzo responds and goes, supporting my best friend of 10 years is contract tampering, crazy behavior. Bro, that's the sickos Tony wanted and made the shirt for, right? A little tip-tucking here. Mike Gilbert. Who the fuck is Mike Gilbert, bro? This guy's like, I'll negotiate on Tony Khan's behalf. Dear Triple H, if you want Sting, we need a public apology for your behavior at DX's induction, calling AEW a pissant company, and not letting Lex appear on camera during Sting's retirement. Admit to the public that was all bitch behavior in those words. Dude, I quote tweeted this. It's like Triple H slap this dude and take his wife, man. What are you talking about? And then we can talk about Sting appearing. We want to make this happen for Lex. Feel free to DM. Feel free to DM. Oh my God, dude. I would love to see this guy like cower in a corner shaking while Triple H is like, what's in your pockets? The pocket checks him, you know? Give me those glasses. You know what I'm saying? So Davboro, Triple H has fumbled Penta big time. And then this guy's like, another Raw without Penta. Just imagine what H could be doing with ZSJ right now, according to some people on here. Do people want to see ZSJ in WWE? I don't think that's a thing, so you're dumb. And then Davboro is just down bad Dav. Down bad Davboro, right? That's what we call him. And he did fumble, or he didn't fumble Penta big time because he has been on the show. So this guy's saying another Raw. He did appear on the show. So I don't know what the fuck these guys are talking about. He's been on like every show, or he gets a vignette or something. He doesn't have to wrestle every week, you sickos. This guy, Devil Tudor, responded to, oh, that's so shitty. Did she delete it? I hope she didn't delete it, man. Oh, man. So Killer Kelly was like, hey, it's my birthday. Here's my Amazon wish list. This dude quote tweets it and is like, this shit has to stop. Celebrities asking their fucking fans to get them birthday presents. What the fuck has this world come to now? Fucking people who make way more than the average person wants to fucking get effed ugly, and then calls her ugly. And I'm like, you need antidepressant and fresh air, little bro. And Matt Diesel like that, shout him out. Wrestler, right? And then he's like, I don't need shit. These effing monkeys need to quit begging. I'm like, she's not begging. I was like, I don't know how much you think wrestlers make. The average indie wrestler, if they're lucky, is making a teacher's salary. Kelly just had a kid and has been off TV for a long time. Would you not buy a friend a gift for their baby shower? Get off the internet. And then he just is responding to himself. I would buy my friend a birthday present. It's like, all right, you mute, fucking get a life, bro. That's craziness. And she's not like Gail Godot being like, I need a present. So me making the sicko segment a bunch. I write, this is the definition of AEW sickos coping right here. And what they're saying here is this guy's like, the powers that be are conspiring against you. A blind man can see this. Where's Tony? And then this Jana person's like, they wanted to recreate that Ospreay Fletcher aura so bad. And that's when Montez Ford did the flip or whatever. Sal Cruz is like, some of these accounts on here were like, he superplexed him off the top. Oh, that was the cage spot. It's crazy too how Meltzer gets that out there. Do you guys see? This is what these sickos do. And I pointed out here on the show. And I said this is what was going to happen. Meltzer and fucking Brian, okay, butthurt Brian, are going to fucking go, it wasn't off the top. That's preposterous. Meanwhile, perfect example. Maybe it's anecdotal. You guys try this at home. I turned to my wife and I was like, when they were showing replays of it on SmackDown, and I was like, yo, what is that? What did he just do? She's like, slammed him off the cage. That's, it's like, that's all it takes. Ask a casual, yo, is that off the cage? Is he just slam him off the cage? It's a magic trick, bro. You're getting that. You know how kayfabe. Yeah, because you're a fucking smart mark. Oh, it's not technically like off the cage, even though Punk was draped over the cage and he fell off the cage, but Rollins didn't stand on the cage. So if this was a video game, it technically, like, shut up, you fucking clowns. So this guy's like, thought the same shit. I was looking for the climb. It never happened. The manipulation circus remains. The manipulation circus remains. Yeah, dumb fuck.
Dummy, yeah.
It's carny. It's a circus trick. It's manipulate. It's suspending your suspending your disbelief and having people manipulate your fucking suspension of your disbelief. It's like a magic trick. The guy's not really making elephants disappear and shit. The cards, Oh, but that guy slid a card in my pocket. Yeah, he has someone pickpocketing you, or something happened, bro, where he did that. He has an assistant walking around that you didn't see. Put the fucking card in your pocket. Like, it's magic, bro. It's a magic trick. It's called sleight of hand. So, like, yeah, the manipulation circus. Yeah, why are you watching wrestling? Do you think it's real? These people are so fucking dumb. They think they're smarter than everyone else. It's always the biggest dummies.
Dummy, yeah.
Who think they're smarter than everyone else, man. It's humiliating. And then this guy's like, LMFAO busted open. I'm trying to hide it anymore. Paid Federation fluffers. LaGreca just fluffed Moxley's dick after that back spike suplex, bro. And you're not crying. It's clown behavior, man. So a hashtag was going grape minus the G, Def Rebel. And this guy's like, are we starting the grape Def Rebel if they fuck it up? What? So here's Vince Russo. Bro, listen. Listen. When it comes to wrestling action figures, bro, I only have my own figure, bro. They've only made a few of them. Bro, listen. I would never pay for these marks with their dolls, bro. I invented Stone Cold Steve Austin wrestling, bro. Let's hear what he has to say about some sicko buying a fucking naked Miss Elizabeth doll or some creepy shit.
5 years ago.
Okay.
Cardona said, I was able
Shout out Vince Russo's brand and castrating the marks.
to get my hands on it. And he's talking about a action figure, limited edition mistake action figure that was made of Elizabeth naked.
Oh,
in the
wow.
day,
Okay. Interesting.
So he
Yeah.
said, I was able to get my hands on it for a pretty decent price. I had it in my collection and I did a YouTube video talking about it, but I blurred everything out. It was so weird that it would even be in the back of my display case. I was proud that I had it, but I didn't want to show it off. So when I put on this YouTube video, somebody contacted me and said, how much for the naked Elizabeth? I said, dude, I didn't really want to sell it. Make me an offer I can't refuse. You're going to think I'm crazy. He offered me $45,000.
Oh, I was gonna say 10.
$45,000 and I sold it. Now, fast forward
45 fucking K. Can you guys believe that? 45.
You what? You fucking mark!
Jeepers, man.
To a week or so ago. Let's go to this tweet.
Glenn bought the action figure Disco? Oh no. Oh no.
Jimmy Van tweets, coming soon to Fightful, Sean Sapp and I sit down to talk wrestling toys, in particular the WWF LJN line, and what did I actually buy from Matt Cardona? Stay tuned. And right in the middle is the naked Elizabeth figure. So putting two and two together here.
Oh my God. Jimmy Van paid $4.
You what?
You what?
Oh my God. Jimmy Van, dude.
45 grand for a freaking plastic doll. Oh my God. Mike Durbin, man. Hats off. This is incredible, bro.
$45,000 that you, how rich is this guy?
Oh my God, bro.
That's insane.
That is insane, bro. I wouldn't pay $45,000 for anything.
We've heard him talk about his family.
Are you sure about that? No. Yeah, check out Vince Russo's Patreon there. A couple more here. So here's Ibou. I had to put him in the fucking title here because he's now just popping up and talking shit here about WWE. He goes, clean out creative and get fresh and younger voices in. There's so many ways to do angles, and we've seen the same crews in for a while. WWE is in 1999. Ibou goes, I think it's over. Most bookers flame out after 3 years. Italy got scammed. That TV was a borderline unacceptable waste of 3 hours from a promotion that has creatively lost their fastball. That show doesn't happen in 2023. Oh my God. He's so unbearably cringe and fucking stupid.
Bitch.
He's literally one of the most hated people by wrestlers and content creators and shit. I'm telling you this as a fact. Okay. Because of his pompous ass, they were straight up robbed. Well, it didn't sound that way. And what were they robbed of, bro? We're on the road to Mania. So what were they supposed to do? Save the cage match for Italy? 2 weeks ago, they had. It's so ridiculous, man. They can't have everyone destroying themselves before we get to Mania. So what do you want them to do? We just got Punk, Roman. And here's the thing. He's only talking all this shit because all the fickle motherfuckers were like, SmackDown's too long. 3 hours, it's too long. And I get it. People in chat might agree. But as I said, I'm in Canada, so I don't know. I watched the shit on Netflix after, and there's no ads. You're right. So it's just a 2 hour straight up show. As a 2 hour show, it's fucking mighty fine, dude. It's like a B-, you know? Wasn't the worst thing ever, but everybody's just pissed because of the hours worth of ads. Right? But meanwhile, they want to make boo-boo face about Netflix. Oh, Raw's viewership declined. It's like, we just need to get all this shit on streaming so we don't have to deal with this. And then no one will fucking cry about this shit anymore. You know, the SmackDown wasn't that bad. Like, what was so bad? Was that fucking Street Profit segment so fucking bad? I thought it was really good, man. So I don't know. People just crying to cry. But yeah, I don't know, man. These dudes just suck. They just fucking suck. Like, you're not going to book any better. So we have JD and your boy Joey Janela going at it. So JD posted this yesterday, and he goes, this month has been mentally very difficult, guys. One of the worst mental health months maybe ever. And right now, I'm not really doing too well. I don't know how I pulled out a 2-hour stream out of me tonight. Those who are in my corner, thank you. Everyone else, I'm sorry you feel the way you do about me. Oh! And fucking Joey Janela responds with the Charmin. Now listen. Now I know everybody wants to pick sides, right? He posted the Charmin thing, so Joey did hit him with this. Like, that's pretty funny, right? To come back like, oh, too bad with the Charmin thing. Because JD posted that and we all laughed at that when Monet was being soft, right? So then Janela hits him with that. You had to know it was coming. So is what it is. Yeah, here's Cage Match Sickos rating WWE a 9.2 for Roadblock. And then Sicko's like, who let Fed people in here? So yeah, we're not even going to laugh at that. We're going to continue with JD versus Joe. So JD's like, literally 2 of the biggest pieces of shit in his entire place. All because of a decision made by someone else that ruined an entire weekend. I am being wrongfully blamed for. And MLJ, who's fucking so cringe. Oh, dude. Yeah. I'm sorry, ML. I don't even know how to say your name. Email. You're fucking cringe. I sincerely hope that whatever he's going through gets worse. Whoa. Joey's like, no, because he's a disrespectful, hateful fucking loser. So there you go, man. They fucking hate JD. You know, Joey, to me, I go, okay, with Joey and JD, the gloves are off between those two. Like, they just want to fight each other. They just need to get it over with already. But then, yeah, this dude, like, oh, fuck you, man. He's just trying, you know what he's trying to do, though, that ML guy? I guarantee he's trying to work his way because he does commentary. And I think he's trying to work his way into that HOG spot. If I had to guess, man. Hey, should I X-Files myself? Let's fucking do it. I'll do it. Here we go. So we're almost done this here. Janela's like, Jim Cornette paid his dues from an account that no longer exists 4 hours ago. Fucking sickos. Jim Cornette paid his dues. Hall of Fame worthy on-screen character. One of the greatest wrestling minds of all time and walking wrestling encyclopedia. He's earned the right to say whatever the fuck he wants and collect money, no matter how dated some of his takes are. And I've attacked Cornette worse than anyone on here. I'll give that a like because he's right about that. But Joey responds to JD and he goes, well, look, we go here. We got to scroll down. It's like Inception. Right? So after JD's like, literally the 2 biggest piece of shit, Janela's like, stop playing victim, pussy. You make money by tearing others down while never paying a single due in the wrestling business. Being a professional wrestler is mentally taxing and difficult, especially on American television. I think being JD from NY is easy. Let's compare a hardworking Japanese woman wrestler's name to something that sounds like an exotic cocktail, and you collect on go because your trash, half brain dead fans will send whatever money they made at Subway that week. Play victim somewhere else. Fuck you. Damn, so he went hard on him, man. So he's also triggered by that joke about the cocktail or whatever. And so then he's trashing his fans. So then that's where you get the tribal warfare. Because you made it about the fans who might also could be fans of you. Well, fuck them. I don't want their money. terrible business practice. You know, that's all I'll say. Let's compare hardworking. Yeah, physically, yeah, for sure. You know, wrestlers are outworking everybody, right? But that doesn't doesn't mean the guy who's like in charge of the bank isn't fucking not doing anything, right? Or the guy in charge of like fucking whatever. Name any job where you're not taking bumps, right? You're a nurse. It's not like you're fucking not doing anything either. That isn't hard work. Anyways, so JD goes, because you're so he quotes him, and then JD goes, I smell jealousy. Joey Janela needs a handout, guys. He admits someone much more talented than he is, who doesn't have to light themselves on fucking fire. Gabagoo is making more money doing than he is in his own field. Oh, and then Janela's like, I'll make more money WrestleMania weekend than you make in 6 months. Calm down, Mr. Depressed. I actually don't know about that. JD's posting crazy numbers. It's like it's actually ridiculous, dude. I don't know about that, man. And then JD goes, I'll have 10,000 viewers each night for WrestleMania and my streams. That's at least triple than what Spring Break is doing. Keep dreaming, you fucking hack. And then Janela's like, oh, wow, man. I guarantee 200 people wouldn't show up to see you in person. I bet if JD hosted an event, he could get 200 people to show up and see him, Joey. You know what I mean? He's got a lot of viewers, man. You got to understand, like, and that doesn't matter either, you know? Now who's got dated takes? Like, all right, it's the fucking internet. He gets 10,000 who shows up to see him on his show. So, and again, like you said about Cornette, I roast JD. I give EJ Dice Clay. Oh, right. So, just calling a spade here. He says, let's get the trailer numbers on how many people will be watching Spring Break this year too. Yeah, I mean, they do good fucking numbers for that. I know you're depressed, man. Stay away from the GW bridge, JD. Eesh, dark. I told you guys it wasn't gonna get dark. It's just dark. And then JD goes, LMA laughing my fucking ass off over here. Fucking retard has no idea how YouTube works. Oh yeah, he could draw 200. I believe. I really do believe that. And then he's like, I'll make more money WrestleMania weekend than you can make. Okay, so JD says I'll have 10,000. We read that. We read this. We went through them all. Oh, and yeah, JD responds and goes, if Trilla can do 228,000 viewers, I'd love to see it, Joey. Oh, yeah, I mean, I'd love to see it too. I don't think they're doing too well, Triller. Those Triller folk. Those folk at Triller. And get the Triller. Triller. So JD from NY says, LMAO fucking, we read that. And then Janela responds and goes, no lie, this dude just wrote this on a burner, deleted it from the burner, and made the wise decision to post it as his own. Ooh, shit. Is that true? Did he make that up, or is that true? Is that true? Can't be using burners, folks. I do have a second Twitter now. Okay. At Phil Marks Out. Go and follow that. But that's just like entertainment shit. It's for my other channel. Yeah, so that's crazy. Janela should have screen grabbed it, but at the time you don't think to do it. Because you see that, you're like, oh, it's blocked, whatever. I'm not even gonna respond. And then he posts the same thing. But he should say what the ad is, and then he'd say what the handle is. Say what the handle is, Joey. I ain't calling you a liar. Hey, I ain't calling you a liar. So. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the fucking sicko segment. A bit of a longer one, but not too terribly long, you know, kind of funny too, right? That was the sicko segment. We got flutes to play for Dave Meltzer. I fucking baked Meltzer personally myself, and he's got a lot of bullshit we got to get to, so yeah, I'm gonna check in with chat for a minute before we get to that. And I'm parched, right? So let's check in with Ray J's World. It's Ray J's World. Ray J's World. Party time. Excellent. Meow, meow, meow. Says, I'm also pissed at Meltzer telling Tony Khan to continue to be petty, not let Sting. Well, brother, if we switch over, that's exactly what we're about to talk about. So how timely, right? The universe works itself out like that, I guess, folks. I'm not to induct Lex Luger. Sorry, I'm a few beers deep, guys. Unless WWE lets Tony do a WWE Barry promo on WrestleMania. If Sting can't, I'm going to fully boycott AEW. And then you follow up and say, Phil, I want you, Vince Russo, to do a debate with your JD. Bro, that's too hard to do because he's not actually in the wrestling business. Bro, what? Now, hold on a second there, sugar tits. Who the fuck says I'm not in the wrestling biz? I commentated on like 37 matches already. Bro, I invented Stone Cold Steve Austin, the wrestler, bro. So you don't get to tell me JD hog wrestling, bro. Oh, come on. I'm making a cocktail over here. I actually agree with you. My bad. I think we just got up on the wrong foot. I was over here. Now I'm over there now. Okay. There you go. I hope that was good enough. That was terrible. Okay. We need flutes in the chat, though, because we're going to play some for Dave Meltzer here for a Dave Meltzer dumb moment of the week. We got a few good ones. Okay. And if you haven't yet, check out me hanging out with Big Trouble Ben Bishop, indie wrestler, who just took on Nick Nemeth, and he's fought like AJ Francis. He fought Roderick Strong on AEW Collision, I believe, or Rampage or something like that. It's so funny, too, in the interview. I read his cage match ratings to him, and he talks about WWE ID, and yeah, we fucking roast Dave Meltzer. So he was just quite the gent, and that was an awesome time. Everyone cheers, by the way. You're all throwing flutes. Flute Gate 801, 901. Okay, we're at 701 for me, dude. The Filluminati for life. Yeah, that's right, dude. It's 701. So you guys see why I started 2 hours early? Because when I do this shit, and then I'm going to go touch some grass after. You know what I'm saying? So usually I hang out late with you guys. I'm over here now. His hockey career was awesome. Yeah, that's the funniest part of it too, right? Because all the dirt sheets were like, oh, the goalie, Big Ben Bishop. And then Fightful did correct it. I'll give them credit. But guys, go and check out the interview. It's super funny. It's one of my favorite things I've ever done for PWT. Okay, guys. I'm just going to check in with you guys all before we roast Dave here. And like, guys, well over 500 people tuned in tonight. So round of applause for the PWT universe. We went on X. I go on X every now and again, but I implore you all, come to the live shows on Wednesdays, right? And Mondays and Saturdays on YouTube, if you don't mind. But a round of applause for the over 500 here tonight. It's growing right now, too. Got like 520, so... and everybody in chat, please throw a flute up because it is time for everybody's favorite segment, and it is called Dave Meltzer's Dumb Moment of the Week. So Dave Meltzer gives his thoughts on AEW Sting inducting Lex Luger into the Hall of Fame, and we already heard Conrad Thompson say, oh, come on, that's not very fair. You didn't let Lex appear on camera. And I'm just saying this because they're allowing me to sell fucking Blue Chews at StarCast, Eric. But I'm here for it. Chat me up about Lex Luger, Sting. Anyways, though, Dave Meltzer says if he was AEW, he would not let Sting induct Lex Luger. So Dave cries and goes, well, actually, well, Brian, except, Tony Khan. They did that with Billy Gunn, Brian. That turned out really well. I wouldn't do it. The situation's changed, except you can play the flute. Good. Play the flute. Play the good guy all you want. That's what I'm wishing. Now it's my fantasy mark booking for what Dave says. When the other side is always taking cheap shots at you and slapping you around. So he's saying that fucking WWE slapping them around. making AEW look like shit. And then he's also like, he's instigating shit. No, is this not Dave? Like, come on, Tony, don't be a little bitch. Tell him, Brian. And Brian's like, well, I agree with you, Dave, I guess. Just leave my name in your will. And fucking, Dave's like texting Tony, they're slapping you around, kid. Aren't you going to do something? Tony Khan. Because it's like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? You're just stirring shit up. AEW's the one always taking shots. WWE does it in like little subliminal ways, right? And Shawn Michaels is much more petty than I think Triple H is with all of that shit, as I pointed out, as I've chronicled here at PWT. But yeah, Dave, of course he's going to take this shitty stance. It's not about you, Dave. It's about fucking Lex, And Dave goes on to say, well, actually, if the thing happened with Billy Gunn and it went differently, maybe I would. So you're just a petty bitch. Oh, so you're a baby and an asshole too. Sweet. But probably not. Not in this day and age. If Lex Luger went into the Hall of Fame in Waterloo, Iowa, then I would have absolutely no problem. What? What is he talking about? Oh, if they were in Anchorage, Alaska, I wouldn't give a fuck, Brian. Winter is coming. What is he talking about? Oh my God, dude. If they were in Boise, Idaho, if they were in Paducah, Kentucky, Brian, I wouldn't care. Tony Khan. Absolutely none. When it's the WWE Hall of Fame, on a WWE broadcast, you can look at it like doing Luger a favor rather than WWE. But that's the weakness they're counting on. And it's funny because whenever Dave's talking and they put the brackets, it's because he doesn't finish what he's saying. You know what I mean? He just spurgs out like, Will Ospreay. How many guys from WWE under contract were allowed to do Sting's retirement show? 0. Well, why? Here's the thing. So why don't you be better than that? Why don't you look at the upside of being able to market on WWE? Why don't you counteroffer something better instead of crying like a baby back bitch? Why do you here's the thing too. So they wanted to show Luger in the crowd during Sting's retirement match on a pay-per-view, which could potentially drive pay-per-view buys. This is a free Hall of Fame show that's on streaming, right? Well, that could drive ad revenue. I mean, it'll draw views. Okay. So that's exactly the same thing AEW wanted to do. And again, you're like, well, if they did it over here, like you're not on the same level. Okay? Just accept that shit. And why would he care? Why would Dave care this much unless he just fucking hates Lex Luger and just drowns in Tony Khan's nut sweat and possibly owns 3% of the company, right? It's like, anyways, he goes, so why should you reciprocate? Like if Lex Luger wasn't allowed to do Sting show, that's my argument, Brian. I do not see any reason why Tony Khan should be cooperative other than if it's a business deal and they make a business deal and I study the business, Brian. If they want to go in there and make a business deal and say, and I study the business, we'll plug all in during our show. We'll plug all in during our show. What the fuck? Oh my God.
You what?
Holy shit. Plug all in.
You fucking mark.
Oh my God. Is this guy high, man? Oh, yeah. Holy shit. See, this is why I don't read it before. I look, I skim, and I go, yeah, for the show, and then I react live. Because fuck that, man. That's insane. Chat, can you believe that? Plug all in on a... What the fuck? Maybe I'd consider it at that point. It's only fair. Oh my God, Dave is fucking lost his mind, man. Let's scroll down. I fucking lost my spot. He lost the plot. I lost my spot. Yeah, Dave completely just, that's unhinged. So, breaking, Bill Chisholm, managing partner of Symphony Technology Group, has agreed to purchase the Boston Celtics from the Grusbeck family for a valuation of $6.1 billion. Sources tell ESPN this now is the largest sale for a sports franchise in North America. Meltzer said, says Dynamite Dave has convinced people on this app that AEW is worth in the same ballpark as the Boston Celtics. And he has, man. This is the damage
The best guy is Tony Khan.
Right? He's convinced all these idiots were saying 30%. Dave, well, we got it here in the bookmarks. He's like, it's 10% at best. You're the one who said 30%. We covered it on the last show, right? He's fixated on this 30% number. We covered it on the last show. NFL does like 30%. Well, if AEW could do 30%, about 30% of the audience thought MJF was babyface. He's always saying 30%, 30%, 30%. He's like losing it, man. He's got a glitch. Right? So we're chronicling it here at PWT. Stay locked in here Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays. You'll fucking see. This is episodic too, right? Right? That's why the show's so fucking over. You gotta watch it all. You gotta know everything we're talking about here. But anyways, yeah, he has people convinced it's the fucking same as like NBA franchises. It's just not. We are going to listen to expert analysis of one of the grossest spots ever. And we're going to do that in a moment here, King. We might circle back to that, I think, is the way to do it. Either way, we move along. So Eric Bischoff gets tagged in this. If this exchange doesn't describe Dave Meltzer to perfection, I don't know what does. He knows nothing and just guesses, so pitiful and stupid. So Meltzer's like, yeah, well, there's more to it than meets the eye. And he always says that Transformers, more than meets the eye. Transformers, robots in disguise. I can't help it. Meltzer's always say there's more than meets the eye, Brian. Like Optimus Prime. And Alvarez like, so he's dropped again. Meltzer's like, no, I'm sure he's not dropped. But there's something going on. Alvarez is like, what does that mean? Meltzer's like, it means there's something going on, Brian. And Alvarez is like, well, we shouldn't have brought this up if you can't tell us anymore, because now you just made people angry. Meltzer's like, I don't know what more that's going on. I was actually told it's what you think. Ladies, any ladies in chat, could you imagine dating this motherfucker? Trying to do this fucking, oh my God, Meltzer just hibbity-jibbity-ing, man. Like, what are you even saying? I don't know what more that's going on. I was actually just told it's what you think. Wait, am I fucking crazy? Right, ladies, imagine a dude, your fucking guy says that to you. Alvarez is probably looking at him, what the fuck? Alvarez goes, it's what you think. What I think is they're holding it off for the next couple of weeks. Meltzer goes, I think they thought I knew, which I didn't. What is he talking? And they said that even if you say it, they're going to all deny it. Everyone in the company will deny it. So it's something, but I don't know exactly what. Then Alvarez trying to save him. I feel bad for Brian sometimes, you know? He doesn't get the full like pass from me all the time because he's a dipshit sometimes, but he definitely like he's trying. He's getting fed up with it. Trying Brian. Okay, that's what we'll call. We called him Lion Brian. We'll call him Trying Brian. Of course, the goated fucking meme ever that I ever made. Right there. Beautiful. So neckbeards. So this is fake. Okay. This was AI generated. So they got community noted. This is a lie. The tweet doesn't exist on our Cultaholics X account and there's no date. So the problem, me and Meltzer said, what we're DMing about this. It's like, dude, Dave says so much dumb shit. Don't muddy it up with fake Dave. Okay. And if anybody out there in the PWT universe is responsible for this or does make fake Dave stuff, don't. Please. He does it all to himself. I could just go on his Twitter right now and something to make fun of. Right? Just don't do it. It's not worth it because it just muddies it up then. People will bite on this the same way Dave goes, oh, it could be 30%, Brian. I mean, that shit fucks it up for like, because his sickos then are like, what about 30%? Could be like 1 million. And they think 1 million people are watching. They think that like 600,000 people are watching on Max and all these stupid, or 30%, 30,000 or 300,000 or all this dumb shit. I've seen all these numbers thrown around until Dave has to go, at the most it's 10. He has to like admit it. And then he has to admit they're not a sport because the TNT sports were like, well, no, AEW is not a sport. So Dave's like, oh, he's like sweating bullets because if you're not in the top 10 of Max, again, we pulled up the chart. They have 1.2% of the whole streaming market share or whatever, however you want to word it. Someone smarter than me will word it correctly, but they like if you're not even number 10 of Max, like you're number 1 on Max, you're like you maybe make the top 10 on Netflix, like if you're lucky. Like wise, the type of views shit puts up, you know? So it's just all this whole argument and everything crumbled apart. And it's not to point and laugh, haha, AEW. It's just, Dave, you got to stop. You got to stop. You're giving these people false hope, bro. This shit is TNA, right? Anyways, though, Meltzer weighs in. This is fake. So he just says, it doesn't make any sense. Literally none of these men. I never like screen grab. Usually I'll fucking rip it from someone else and give my own thoughts. But I just quote tweeted this and I was like, this can't be fucking true. Because the first time I read it, I didn't realize it was fake. And then when I read it again, I was like, yeah, absolutely bleak. He would never use the words absolutely bleak. And it would never be scoffs. Cultaholic would never write scoffs in there. They'd be like, or like brackets to like help him explain what Dave's senile dumbass isn't explaining correctly, you know? So, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Dave says enough dumb shit. Don't AI dumb Dave shit. We don't need anyone to do that. So Dave Meltzer talks about Hikuleo, and he says, we keep getting asked about Hikuleo. He is under contract and has been training in Orlando. The decision has simply been made not to use him in NXT at this time. Years ago, they had the same mentality with Strowman, where he wasn't featured much. He did make cameos in group scenes in NXT so as to debut him with impact on the main roster. Yeah, I agree. So me and Dave here, this is a based Meltzer moment, and we'll give Dave a fucking based E-flute for so yeah, based Meltzer, because that is what it is, and that's what the fuck I've been saying forever too. Like same with Lance and Hawaii. You don't see him. Everyone's like doubting him and shit. I see people posting like his videos being like, everyone don't doubt him and shit. It's just they're getting those two guys ready to be right on the main roster immediately. If I had to guess, Solo's gonna have 2 new guys and Jacob's going to break off with 2 guys, or Hikuleo joins the Tongans and Jacob. And then I've spit this up a billion times on this show. You guys are tired of hearing me say it. Again, if you listen episodically, but Hikuleo, can't wait till he shows up. He's going to show up and he's going to be real jacked, and he's already like 6'9" or whatever. So he's going to rule. Here's Bischoff. Shout him out. Acknowledging PWT. So Meltzer said what responds to the Meltzer-Bryan exchange that we just had, and Meltzer said what pulls the receipts, man. He has fucking receipts, and he goes, the transcript below sounds like a parody conversation of Meltzer discussing the Cody Cena Rock angle, but sadly that's a real quote and perfect example of Dave's fill-in-the-blanks reporting style. Alvarez wanted none of this vague, it's what you think story. Fuck yeah. Meltzer said what? One of the goats, bah. I'll give a fucking bah. And let's listen to this clip, man. It's a verbatim quote. That stupid, dumb shit we read is real. And of course, we knew it was here at PWT.
Well, tell me about Cody.
And if it's very quiet, that is on Meltzer said what's part. But just work with me here, okay? And let's play this. Let's try. I'm sure we've already listened to this already on the show where I paused every second and gave my reaction. So I'll try and just play through this. And we already read it and we reacted to how dumb it is. So I'll try and just play through it. But sometimes when you hear the cadences and the inflections in one's voice, it makes it even stupider, or maybe you can give someone some benefit of the doubt. With Dave, typically you're like, oh God, he's even more pompous than I imagined. So let's try and get through this without pausing, and turn your volumes up in case it's a little low.
Well, tell me about Cody and John Cena in their promo.
You know who they didn't mention hardly at all? I don't think they even mentioned him at all.
Who's that?
Dwayne.
Well, yeah, I mean, we talked about that on Monday. They got 6 weeks.
Yeah, well, there's more to it than meets the eye, apparently.
So he's dropped again?
No. Oh, I'm sure he's not dropped. But there's something going on.
What does that mean?
Means there's something going on.
So what does that mean?
Can't tell us anymore because now you just made people angry.
Yeah,
don't know
see?
what is going on.
You made me angry, Dave. No, I'm just kidding. I'm raging. No, dude, but for real, you piss off your fucking socially and emotionally stunted fucking listeners, you know?
I was actually just told it's what you think. And I don't even know. I asked. I said, like,
It's what you think. What I think is they're holding it off for the next couple of weeks.
it's not. They said that, well, the other sentence when they said it's what you think is when you figure, I think they thought that I knew, which I didn't. And they said that even if you say it, they're going to all deny it. Everyone in the company will deny it. So it's something, but I don't know exactly what. So there you go.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we can talk about soon is the New Japan Cup.
So
Yes.
I guess, it's.
It's why did you interrupt him when he was trying to transition and save your goofy ass into the New Japan Cup? Why would you interrupt him to go, it's what is he going to say? That's so important.
There's always stuff going on behind the scenes there. That's all.
Yeah, we know it's wrestling. There's always stuff going behind the scenes where there's behind the scenes and stuff.
So, yeah.
Well, the New Japan Cup is, I think it's going on right
We
now.
interrupted him to say, there's always shit going on. Yeah, you already said that, idiot. And then, here's Meltzer said, what the biggest thing he does wrong is connect dots and fill in blanks based off a singular piece of information, then report it as fact, e.g. Shane is not on TV, therefore Vince doesn't have anything for him. Shane was really on jury duty. And then, it's just, Meltzer said what points out those fill in the blanks. We DM lots. That's like the main guy that I fucking ever DM with. Like, and it's always randomly. It's not all the time, but it'll be like a bunch in one go. Let's check in with chat here. Ray J's World says Dave wants WWE to allow Tony Khan to do what he did during the TNA partnership and bury WWE during WWE programming. Well, he took TNA's programming to bury WWE and TNA. You know what I'm saying? Like, he went on TNA TV to bury WWE and TNA on TNA TV. Now they're in a partnership, and now they're looking stupid as fuck. And that's what happens, man. All this shit comes around as bit Tony in the ass, pointing the key demo, shitting on Undertaker, Cena. Now look at all this, man. And people want to pretend like WWE's not slowly trending upwards again while AEW's been trending downwards, like 100,000 people every year. It's just the facts. Cash Monet's been a member for 3 months. Let's fucking go. 99 cents, you guys. Studies show 30% is the most common answer given when someone is asked about something they know nothing about. Yeah. Hey, 70% of studies, 30% of studies show that when you say a statistic, you're just making it up on the spot or whatever, right? Yeah. Is that actually true though, Cash Monet? That'd be awesome if you could like link us to an actual study. The most common answer when someone is asked about something they know nothing about it. That'd be hilarious if that was real. 90% of the time, what is that shit from Ron Burgundy? 60% of the time it works 90% of the time or whatever. Jamie Earhart says, Phil, do you have a say with YT for ads while watching you live? I'm currently at 6 and believe George is at 7, maybe more. We miss show when this happens. As a creator, do you have a forum to speak up? Well, kind of. Actually, they just rolled out this whole new like live studio, this whole new live thing. And then it asked how much ads do you want? Do you want to put it on? There's 3 options, like none, medium, or a shitload. Like you'll just fucking run a bunch of ads. I put it on the medium one. So you're telling me this now. I don't know. I might make a few extra bucks, I guess. That'd be awesome. We'll look into it. I'll look into what the lower option is. I'm all about that. That's no problem. You guys just hit like and subscribe and consider becoming a member. I'm not going to show you blue chews or anything like that, but I try not to, maybe one day, who knows? Prize picks. Let's go. No, but I'm joking. But listen, I don't have total control over that. No, I picked the middle one thinking like, oh, that should be fair, right? In the middle for everyone. So maybe we'll go to the lower option, the number 1 option where it's like, it gives you 3 things. I'll read it to you guys on a member show. How about that? And we can figure it out together. But thanks for informing me. Okay. Because I'm not trying to add you guys to death either. You guys know I don't like that. So, Unless it's on like the clips. That's a whole other ball game there. But the live show, it's like I don't want you to get interrupted and miss the punchlines and all of the good things. So yeah, but it's all AI based of like when to do it, or I can manually do it, but I'm not like maybe I should just do it that way, you know? But thanks for informing me. So as a creator, no, we don't really have a say. They just do shit and then you got to learn it and adapt, or you're fucking left behind. That's how it goes. Thanks for the question, though. It's a really good question. For anybody looking to get into content creation, okay? That's how YouTube rolls, man. You just got to stay up with it, and they just fuck you from time to time, okay? So, and they piss your audience off. So here we go, though. Moving along. Back to the news. Thank you all. Actually, here, let me fucking acknowledge everyone who just super chatted in as well.
Acknowledge me.
Okay. We're at like 550 across the multiple platforms. So you guys are fucking ruling tonight as well. Thank you so much. Hit the like or retweet or whatever. We're on X tonight too, which is kind of crazy. So we're hitting like, getting to those 600 numbers as we get later into the night here. Cultaholic Wrestling quotes the Observer. This is a real one, by the way. This isn't a fake made up one like we covered earlier, but Dave said something is going on with the lack of references to The Rock during John Cena and Cody Rhodes' segment on Raw. And yeah, he goes on to say, like, they who they didn't mention hardly at all. I don't even think they mentioned him at all. Dwayne doing him when he was a kid, Brian. There's more to it than meets the eye, like Transformers. It's like Bumblebee, robots in disguise. John Cena's playing Optimus Prime. The best guy's Tony Khan. There's more to it than meets the eye. Apparently, I'm sure he's not dropped, but something is going on. No, they're just busy. What the fuck? Dave is losing it, man, at this point. Okay? Cultaholic's like, this is fake. We never tweeted this chop. It's like, yeah, we know. So Dave Meltzer says that the original plan was for Goldberg's last match to be against Gunther, likely after Gunther drops the title. I mean, that's easy to say. The original plan was after Goldberg did an interview saying, oh, yeah, the plan was this, but we fucking whatever. And then now Dave just says this after Goldberg does an interview, like he thinks we all didn't see it. Jon Moxley versus Cope in a street fight got 3.75 stars. And again, Meltzer stars don't matter. He thinks they're the objective truth, but I laugh at this shit because that means it's like a well above average match is what that realistically should mean. And it's like, it really wasn't, dude. What part? When all of the White Clan, Combat Clan guys ran in and were clotheslining Edge in the corner while the fucking medics figured out how to pull the nails out of Moxley's back. Like, what part of it makes it a 3 point? That loses 3 stars for me, like automatically. According to Dave, it's likely 10% of TV number at best. So after this whole 30% thing, and we have a laugh here and we say, oh, 3% he owns of AEW, and he's freaking out. He has to respond to this guy and go, that would be insanely stupid. NBA is on Max and TNT, and where do you think most viewers watch? We get streaming numbers for the biggest sports events. At best, you're talking 10% of TV. He was literally the one on his show. You don't believe me? Go back, because we covered it on the show. Chat knows, unless I'm going insane and imagining shit. Okay? Dave was the one going, well, I mean, typically, sports will do 10 to 30%. If AEW does 30, if they do 40, if they do 50, great. Well, we polled an about 30% increase from our polls when he polled his own audience. We covered it all here, Dave. You can't lie like this anymore. You can't just flip-flop around. You're done. You're cooked. So, yeah. It's only 10% now. Okay, so they're not doing, like, you're just lying about the fucking all this stuff the whole time. So Dave Meltzer, and I had to cook him for this one, okay? So this guy, Michael Norton, says, the grifters don't believe people watch on Max, though. It's truthfully hurting people's feelings. AEW is doing good. Shit's weird. No, man, it's hurting y'all's feeling. Listen, these are the same people who talk about the Raw on Netflix fell off. No, it's hurting your feelings that they're not doing good on Max because you're coping. This is cope. I'm just calling it like it is. Show me the Max numbers. Oh, you can't? Then shut the fuck up. Hey, Dave. Hey, Michael Norton. You got the max numbers? Oh, you don't?
Shut up, bitch.
Shut the fuck up then. Right? So Dave goes, they know they're grifters. Dave calling people grifters. The old time wrestling people. Dave's the same guy who brags that I've been doing this for 50 years. The old wrestling people. You mean you? Oh, you mean you? Who treat their audience as if they were stupid because they come from the con man years and it's what they know and believe. So this isn't carny wrestling. Everything's a shoot now. So AEW's a shoot. Dave, like, what are you talking about? This is still the carny con man years of wrestling. A and B, you're projecting. So you treat your audience like you're stupid by gaslighting them with shit like this. This is why you got to charge more for your fucking paper. This is why you got to block everyone in the universe. This is why you fear flutes. It's crazy, man. I feel bad for this guy. Whose grandpa's this, you know? He goes many years, and it's what they know. Believe it. Pass them by. Dave, 2011 New Japan doesn't work. It's passed you by. Reacting. Anyways, moving along. They've spent 6 years telling people wrestling is worse off overall and AEW is failing. No. You have spent 6 years telling people, Dave, that wrestling's worse off overall. You have, Dave. You're the one who, when Raw gets on Netflix, you can't even put a tweet out. You don't celebrate it. You don't do anything. When Raw being on Netflix makes the wrestling business better off. Okay? WWE ID. You spread all this fake information about it when realistically WWE not monopolizing, but extending an olive branch to help people and plant some roots in some places where they can develop some talent for the betterment of the future of wrestling is why they're doing that. But you want to undermine that. That's you not caring about wrestling and saying wrestling's worse off because you want to paint the picture that WWE's doing worse than they are when they're the leader, they're the catalyst, they're the jumping point. I don't know what the fuck. Listen, I'm 6 beers deep. No, I'm kidding. I'm like 3, but all right, I'm milking this 4th one here, chat. All right, but listen, I'm running out of analogies here because we do this all the time with Dave. You have to explain this shit, and I pray he's listening. One day, someone clip it, get it by TK Mark. You're on the case. Do. But Dave says WWE is super, when in reality, WWE is super popular and AEW is the most financially successful number 2 group in history. No one's even really denied that, though. But in what? As far as the TV deal, or we can break it down. Merch sales? What? TV ratings? What? Tickets drawn? What? I'm sure we could stack that up and AEW win some, WCW win some. You're just focused on hating on WCW and going, WWE is super popular. So, like, not that it's good. It's just super popular. Well, WWE's on fire right now. They're hitting on all cylinders. I know a lot of people like to nitpick, but that's fickle fans, right? I know Phil Marks is going to complain about too many spam finishers in the Punk Seth Rollins match, but that's okay because we're all being objective here. No, you can't do that. Dusty Dave's got to be like, oh, it's just really popular. I mean, there's no reason why things get popular. It's not like popular shit is the shit. You know what I mean? And you might just be dated on some shit, right? It's like Husey comes on. He's like, Travis Scott, I fucking hate his shit. I love Travis Scott music. So, you know, a fucking Irish dude, we're not going to listen to you know what I mean, Dave? You're a 50-year-old and think that CMLL draws the most casuals, and they do, but it's because it's tourism or whatever the fuck. Lucha Libre style is tourism, like, and shit like that. He's just so lost. He has no, and here's the thing. I don't think this is a new thing. And I think retrospectively, hindsight, we're going to look back and go, Dave actually did way more damage than we even think, because when you look at the Brian Last and Jim Cornette files, where Brian Last all these old emails and shit that he used to write Dave Meltzer used to write to like magazines and stuff. He was the same way. Like he really thought he fucking knew and he was the shit and criticizing other people who were doing it way longer than him. Like he really fucking is just this way. I don't think this is like, oh, he's losing his mind. He's old and senile. No, I think we give him credit because he documented pro wrestling since the fucking 80s or whatever. Now that there's the internet, we don't need him for that. And now just the truth of what he is being exposed. You can't be like, oh, well, he documented and gave the attendance and right, because that used to be what got him more over. Well, he documents everything. I mean, Jesus Christ. Now everyone does that. So like you don't need that anymore. So now just the other stuff comes to the surface. Am I wrong on that, chat? I think I'm right about that. I think he's always been this way. Anyways, Dave says, sure, there is plenty of valid criticism of both, but unless you tell your audience those key facts. No, you don't have to tell them anything, Dave. You don't have to tell people anything you don't want to. Shut the fuck up. At this point, you're a con of the highest order. Some who believe them get madder by the week when AEW doesn't die. Maybe, like if you think Bischoff is steaming, maybe. I mean, he just quit wrestling or whatever, but I don't think like Conan gives a fuck if AEW dies or not. I really don't think he cares, bro. Conan! I don't think Dutch Mantel or any content creators who get away with clowning AEW care if it die. You know, I think you're just mad that WWE's doing so good and you can't explain why what you thought wrestling's supposed to be isn't doing what WWE's doing. Glenn Gilberti just says liar because he takes that personally. That's a shot at him. So I respond and I tag him even though he's got. I just hit him with his own shit. I just go, Dave Meltzer's a grifter. He's been doing this for 50 years. As an old-time wrestling person who treats his audience and anyone who challenges them as if they were stupid because he's a con man who doesn't have sources, is out of touch, and doesn't study any business he's ever spoken about. Again, guys, I'm trying to go Dave, right? I've been trying for a while now, but he's got me blocked, but maybe he'll see that. So I'll be like, dude, hopefully, I don't know. But I'm just using his own shit. Like what he says about people, watch, it'll trigger him. He doesn't study the business, That's what he says about other people. He says this as well. Dave fears facts, flutes, and is afraid to learn. Nobody cares if AEW's number 1 or 2 or 3. That's gaslighting to divert from the fact he's been wrong about every single thing supported over the last 2 years especially, and he's spiraling out of control. I'm not an old podcaster from the Carney days, so the shit doesn't work on me. Dave's so old and out of touch. He doesn't realize that people who aren't old and out of touch Carney wrestlers have podcasts and can check his dumb ass for lying too. That's the disconnect. I got 2 words for you after those 400 words. Suck it. Moving along, okay? Megan Bain versus Chris Statlander got 4 stars. And I mean, how is that a 4-star match? Let's be honest. And I love both these ladies. I thought their first match before the Thunder Rosa stuff was the best women's AEW match ever on their television. That was my opinion before the Thunder stuff made it awkward. I quote tweet this and I go, Dave being petty towards Mercedes Moné and giving throwaway TV matches 4 stars to spite her is my favorite shit ever. Because he be giving fucking Moné like 3s and shit against like Momo. And it's like her and Momo Watanabe. Watanabe. I'm so sorry. Everyone's triggered if you fucking. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to pull a JD here, but we're fine. Oh, right. But their match. I don't know, like, how could you, like, you could argue that one was more important than the Statlander Megan Bain one, right? So it's, Dave's stars just don't make any fucking, they're like a Richter scale, Brian. So this guy posts a quote from Wrestle that says, the belief, it's always a belief or the idea behind. It's never just like, this is what this thing is with Dave. The belief, it's more than meets the eye. There's a belief in Transformers, Animorphs, Brian. The belief is that Bliss is off TV and will return when they start the Wyatt 6 back on SmackDown. This is just the belief, though, guys, right? It's just a belief, right? We don't actually know. It's like gravity, right? Not the wrestler, just a theory. We don't actually. Dave with his fucking. I don't. It might be a thing, but it really could not be a thing too. Like, shut up. So Dave has this 30% thing. Okay, so we're gonna break this down because I tweeted at him a lot. King Funko goes, just because people now have access to something doesn't mean they will watch something that they never had any interest or access to before. Exactly. Dave goes, explain the 30% pay-per-view increase during the same time frame. So there's not really one, because you imagine 30% on Amazon. We covered that on the other show. He talked about how their big pay-per-view did 100,000, and then Brian's like, how much do you think they'll do on Amazon? He's like, 130,000, and then he wrote a report about early estimates for Revolution, 130,000 buys and shit. It's like, no, that's you making that up and then saying it's an estimation, right? We're onto your shit, bro. We caught you. You can't lie anymore like this. Anyways, but Dave's fixated on 30%. I have a bunch of examples. I think I brought them up before, but I wrote them down here. So explain the 30% increase during the same time frame. And then I just explain it. I go, they added 3 times the pay-per-views. They added so many more they do them like every month. There was another one. Isn't there another one before Mania? There's one coming up. They do them all the time. They added 3 times more pay-per-views. And then I just say, explain the year-over-year decline and how you're celebrating 650K viewers now when it was 800K on average roughly 2 years ago. And then so I first elaborate, though. So I want to say I covered on my last live stream that Dave Meltzer keeps coming up with 30% for things, too. It's bonkers. Like, he just keeps attributing 30% to everything he talks about. So he said NFL does about 30% increase on Max. So if AEW does that, great. He predicted Amazon will do 130K buys roughly for Revolution when their last big pay-per-view did around 100K buys. Literally, Dave states that in this like a sentence before. And I say implying there will be a 30% increase because of Amazon. He estimates that 30% of AEW fans, we covered this before, in general, watch on Max because of polls he's conducted with his audience. Show recently, he said about 30% of the audience in attendance at Dynamite thought MJF was babyface, and I gave him some. I wrote or maybe MVP because I can't remember. It's either you guys remember MVP came out, confronted MJF. I was on the show on Wednesday. I was bitching about it. What the fuck? They're both tweeners. Like, are they? Who's the heel? Who's the babyface? Dave went on his show and was like, well, about 30% thought. I think he said MJF was babyface. Maybe he said MVP, whatever. And I say I forget which one, but he absolutely said that. He's fixated on this number for some reason. Wouldn't be shocked if he owned 30% of AEW at this point. Of course, I'm being cute because I'm a cheeky fucker. But yeah, it's like a glitch. A cog's caught in the fucking wheels, and he's just like 30%, 30%, Brian. 30%, Tony Khan.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
It's just something stuck. Something's on a loop in there, right? And then I tweet this out. It's not a flex competing with or beating dead companies. Only grifters and old podcasters who fear the facts and truth, who don't study the business, need to learn. And who need to learn think that's a W. Yeah, I'm really. Dave Meltzer, we coming for you. JBL said it best. So Layfield said, Meltzer was so trade asset for WWE. He was so wrong and so easily manipulated that he was perfect to feed bogus info to in order to swerve the fans. He should have been on the payroll. How anyone still follows him is amazing. And that's either in 2020 or 2018. So here we go. So this was Dave's dummiest dumb moment of the week here to wrap up this segment. Bill Neville says for like 2 years you were comparing NXT and AEW numbers on Wednesday nights. Now suddenly they're not in competition. Meltzer goes, ratings matter far more now than ever before. It used to be the key financial drivers were pay-per-view attendance and merch. But none of those things, listen, pay-per-view attendance, merch, and TV ratings, all down for AEW. He can't use those metrics to defend them, so he discredits all of those things. Like, all of those things don't factor into WWE's live touring and other countries being like, yep, we want them here so we can fucking charge them tax on everything they buy when WWE comes. He's literally trying to pretend like WWE isn't like shifting economies and AEW's having no effect. They're just losing money, and they're paying people to serve half-empty buildings, popcorn and beers and shit, right? So anyways, Dave says attendance and merch today, they are media rights revenue. So that's it, just media rights, which is still shittier than AEW, but AEW's number 2 though, WCW. And that is based on how many people 18 to 49 watch the shows. So I just quote tweet this and go, Netflix looks at things like minutes streamed, multiple different demos, which we've covered here on the show, geographical numbers. Now there's a whole thing, people and I'm telling you guys this for a fact, there's a new thing where it's Netflix is live, like the minutes watch live and all that. And then after there's the replay minutes. They're looking at all of these different things right now as they bring more and more live stuff. Wait till UFC gets on there and Meltzer's fucking head spins, and wait till April 1st when India gets WWE everything on Netflix and they add like 3 million viewers or whatever. His head's going to explode, man. He's just going to be like, it's all India. It's the great Kali. He's behind it all. So I go geographical numbers and things Dave has no business talking about because he just simply doesn't know. TV ratings matter less and less every year, and now Meltzer's pretending like merch and attendance is meaningless. Basically what I said, and I've ripped him a new asshole. I do it all the time. No Diddy. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was Dave Meltzer's dummy dumb moment of the week. Savage Wrestling Podcast, who's been a member for 6 months, says, yeah, how you been, Phil? Good, man. How you been?
Dummy. Yeah.
We've been doing amazing over here, bro. Thank you for your 6 months of membership. Anybody wants to become a member, 99 cents. You know, that's the way you support the channel. I have a Patreon, patreon.com/prowrestletimes. Hit subscribe, hit like, hit dislike, retweet. Do your thing, whatever you gotta do your thing. You guys ever see that movie? That's a good movie too. Soul Men, I think it's called. Samuel Jackson and I think Bernie Mac. I remember, maybe but yeah, guys, also head over to this. We had like 600 fucking people watching live. Round of applause for you all. Head over to Phil Marks Out, hit subscribe. If you like hearing me talk about wrestling, I do this. It's different. It's not podcast style. It's like video edit, scripted content over like pop culture and movies and shit like that. YouTube drama. Round of applause for you all. I appreciate you all for being here in the chat. Make sure you subscribe to Phil Marks Out. Yeah, we got through everything. We did it. It was a long ass show. I'm gonna go out and touch some fucking grass. It's been almost 4 hours, dude. And I thought I was going to be on for like 2.5 or 3, but I just love you guys so much. And yeah, be good to each other, take care of each other, kiss each other, hug each other, drink lots of water. Meltzer's a fucking putz. I'm going to go touch grass and get drunker. Until next time, I'll see you in the upside down. Peace.
It is a fast-acting viral strain that infects the host immediately, and upon getting sick, the infected will become racked with coughs, sweat profusely, and start to get the shivers and chills.
There he is, the legend. The man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah. You can't literally run a promotion just for the AEW, what do they call them, sickos?
Thank you very much, TikTok and AEW. See you tonight.
Tony Khan started telling people there's no such thing as long-term booking anymore. It's week to week.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
We just secured the bag.
It's not like I tried to be a character. It was just sort of happened naturally. But it was never something I intended. It was just something that happened because the wrestlers asked me to do things in matches, and I do them.
If you run a promotion just for the sickos, you're going to do 400,000 viewers eventually.
Mother effing Meltzer.
Know that Smackdown actually went over and everything?
Yeah.
You know,
What's the point?
the point of Smackdown.
What are you getting at here?
That the DVRs didn't pick it up.
Did they not pick it up?
You know, mine didn't.
Let's get into everybody's favorite moment, and it is called Dave Meltzer's Dumb Moment of the Week.
What would you like to listen to in your ears?
I'd like to hear the flute.
Well, if you'd like to flaunt your flute, then we can find you a flautist.
We just secured the bag.
It doesn't help me.
Okay, so complain, but
I will complain.
Put me out of my misery.
And when I heard that, I was like, what?
Thank you, fuck you, bye, boom.
You gotta run a promotion for everybody. The sickos can be the ones that buy tickets first and spend the most money on the merchandise.
Because we have just secured the bag.
But like, you gotta promote for everybody. Then you'll have a lot of viewers.
I think we proved a lot of so-called experts. We made them look like idiots. We're not going anywhere. Tony Khan's not going anywhere.
You'll also be there on TNT. You'll be in 2 places at once. You'll be live like my favorite movie. Time God. It's so great in Pittsburgh.
It's not like I tried to be a character. It sort of happened naturally.
The best guy's Tony Khan.
Keep themselves safe.
Well, folks, it's been a night to remember, but right now we are out of time. I'm Nick Diamond.
I'm Stone Cold Steve Austin.
And I'm Johnny Gomez. On behalf of all of us here at Celebrity Deathmatch, good fight, good night.